sir. Check, check. See them hoes flocking to the pimpin' doctrine that we living by, but you don't know that. See the world is mental, solving any issue starts with the mind, but you don't know that. See you think you chiefin' on that cushy killer, but it's Reggie Miller, you don't know that. See you think you know, but you don't know that. You should peep the flow, cause you don't know that.
Check smoke, hellified, qualified him. Hella fly, super fly, pimp. Couldn't find a better guy. Hermes shirt and tie. Crab legs, butterfly, shrimp. Your other guys are certified wimp. You need to find a better guy. These hoes love me, tell you why. Broke the motor 89. Black sun, here to shine. Drop an album, steady climb. Reclaim a dream, we made a mine. I caught my cushion, different kinds. Ended cause of body high. I came to get the party live. Black sun, we stand alive.
See them hoes flocking to the pimpin' doctrine that we living by, but you don't know that. See the world is mental, solving any issue starts with the mind, but you don't know that. See you think you chiefin' on that cushy killer, but it's Reggie Miller, you don't know that. See you think you know, but you don't know that. You should peep the flow, cause you don't know that, pimp.
Now we in the wind with no blowback. Only pause for cheese like a Kodak. You see the black sun sign on my throat hat. Looking so fabulous in my throwback. Ain't enough for us to get a throat track. Yeah, we find them hoes just like a low jack. See your video, the shit so wet. You misrep the city and can't go back. We don't chase the trends, we some trendsetters. Had it hard in the beginning, that was getting better. Try to get up in the game, but they didn't let us. Now they can't block our wins like a thin sweater. But we didn't let them, no we didn't let them. Kill our grind, waste our time, cause we getting cheddar. Hold it down, cold town, straight to lead better. No more talking to these niggas, let the lead hit them.
Hoes flocking to the pimpin' doctrine that we living by, but you don't know that. See the world is mental, solving any issue starts with the mind, but you don't know that. See you think you chiefin' on that cushy killer, but it's Reggie Miller, you don't know that. See you think you know, but you don't know that. You should peep the flow, cause you don't know that. Yo, pimp the pen to make the dollar holler to my money grand like my mama's mama. Asalama, Lakem baby, I'm a rhyme disciple. Line so deep you can find a fossil inside my haiku shit. Want you peep the mind of a poet, nigga is fly as a lotus, producer of the motion. Got your girl tryna set sail in my ocean, and I'm gonna rock a boat with these wavy quotes. Plant a seed of need, and when it rains it grows into a tree of lust. A nigga is a squirrel tryna get a nut, y'all. Nurture hoes is in your nature. Why I'm high as a blimp sitting on the spaceship. Couldn't deflate my country ass compatriot. Verses like Booker Eli, but I think I'm Peyton. I'm more like a Bronco from Colorado. She wanna ride high, she mounts me pronto. I give that holy dick to lost souls. Sleep on me, I break naps like hot cones. Above your head like cyclones that didn't land, or UFOs that hover planes in Vietnam. See, I seen your mixtape, all I see is spam. Shit, I gotta take a break just to give a damn. Don't make me flip a man with my pimpin' hand. The only time you flipping grams is on Instagram. Niggas really try to jump in the sizzle pan. Fucking niggas get ate like we live in France. Start with the legs, make them crawl to the wall. Turn into an episode of Saw. Mirror, 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 tell me who was freshest on them all. If it ain't me, you're dead wrong. Cause them hoes flocking to the pimpin' doctrine that we living by, but you don't know that. See, the world is mental, solving any issue starts with the mind, but you don't know that. See, you think you chiefin' on that cushy killer, but it's Reggie Miller, you don't know that. See, you think you know, but you don't know that. You should pick the flow, cause you don't know that. Cause them hoes flocking to the pimpin' doctrine that we living by, but you don't know that. See, the world is mental, solving any issue starts with the mind, but you don't know that. See, you think you chiefin' on that cushy killer, but it's Reggie Miller, you don't know that. See, you think you know, but you don't know that.
DJ, are you done mixing yet?
P-I-M-P, I believe I am. K-I-N-G, I'ma need my.
Honestly, like I'm not even. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill on the dancing and stuff like that. This is my thing, right? You can't tell me. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you the schools in the FCS that got drafted. You had 2 from North Dakota State, Wisconsin Whitewater, Central Arkansas, Marshall, Central Missouri, Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, Charleston, Concordia University, St. Paul. I had to Google that. That is Division II in South Alabama. So you're telling me that nobody, and he plays linebacker. You're telling me that not one person in the Swac could play linebacker at the next level. That's what you're telling me, that you had to go to Division II to get a linebacker. How does this change? Because I've seen a lot of profiles, and I'll shout out to Mr. Moore for this one. I read a lot of profiles on the draft profiles coming up for the next year draft. And some of these are FCS. And some of these are FCS, my guy. Dakota State, FCS. Central Arkansas, FCS. Central Missouri, FCS. App State, FCS. Coastal Carolina, FCS. Charleston, FCS. Concordia University, St. Paul, Division II linebacker for the Rams. In South Alabama, FCS. App State is not FBS. App State is no way, bro. No way Coastal Carolina is. All right, y'all right. My bad. That's on me. That's on me. You right. You right. I just looked it up. You're right, Glow Perry. Apologies. My apologies. You're absolutely right. All right. So App State, FBS, and which one you said? What other ones? Thank you. You do. Pizza. Hey, appreciate you. All right, so look, but at the end of the day, okay, I apologize. You're absolutely right. App State and I think Marshall might be FBS as well. But at the end of the day, Concordia, man, hold on. No, bro. Hold on. Let me see Concordia. Where is he at? Where is he at? Concordia. Concordia. Chris Garrett. That's his name. Chris Garrett. And there's no shot to Chris Garrett. No shot to Chris Garrett. You know what I'm saying? So it's no shot to Chris Garrett, but Concordia University, St. Paul, Division II. Listen, Phil. Listen, I'm not saying that the guy is not good. I'm not saying that. My thing is this. Nobody in HBCU, nobody in the SWAC deserves to get drafted. You talking about backups at Duke? What's up? Talk to me.
Hey, Script, what's going on, brother? It's Chris from California.
What's up, Chris? Talk to me.
Hey, not much, brother. Yeah, I was about to bring this up when you had the video of the post game. I didn't want to bring it up then, but I was going to bring up the NFL draft issue. Yeah, I just want to say, man, I am disappointed, man, that no HBCU player got drafted, man. And yeah, when I saw the Concordia St. Paul on the actual NFL draft, I was like, what? I said, there's got to be something going on. I don't know if it's throwing shade or the NFL is throwing shade, because HBU actually had their own combine. It was at UAB facility in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they had little clips of it on YouTube, but I couldn't find it on any major media network. And I think that might have been part of the problem. Part of the problem might have been the exposure of that combine. And I'm not really making excuses for the NFL scouts or anything like that, but maybe it wasn't enough. It wasn't put out there enough for guys to, to check it out. And I just wanted to get your opinion on what do you think about.
I think it's
about
this.
Just the exposure to come out.
I think it's this, right? And I was supposed to talk about this on Monday. Honestly, I was supposed to talk about this on Monday, but I'm just really hot right now, right? Because I'm reading player profiles for the upcoming draft of 2022, not even 2021, of 2022. And all you see is potential, no good technique, potential, upside, potential. So I'm thinking I'm like, how are SWAC players don't have potential? If I'm looking at a Zafir Kelly, he's 6'3" and can run, is that not potential? Is that not, that's just, he could be a Richard Sherman. And if you have the production on the lower level, how are you not competitive in if I'm the top guy in the HBCU, how can I not get picked above a backup at Duke? A backup at Duke?
Yeah, it was actually it was surprising. But fortunately, I know a couple players. I know Cam McCain from North Carolina A&T, the offensive lineman from Grambling, and I think it was a cornerback from North Carolina Central. They all got signed as undrafted free agents. But there was another running back from A&T that was pretty popular as well. He was pretty good, and he didn't get picked up either. But yeah, overall, man, I just think it's a disappointment, man. And I know Prime had said something about the NFL Combine before he got hired. And yeah, I just think they just need to try to work on the exposure, man. And they're doing a good job with scheduling some FBS opponents, scheduling some top FCS opponents, man. Getting their name out there, getting some video out there to help out.
Man,
so I think it's just a learning experience today.
And I apologize because I'm eating at the same time I'm talking to you. But my thing is this.
Good. But that's all I had, though. I just wanted to get your opinion on that, and I just say, hey, I think it's just a learning experience as far as exposure stuff today, and maybe hopefully it'll get better.
See, but this is the thing to me. Like, I understand why kids don't want to go to HBCUs, right? And it's kind of making sense to me because I can be average at a Power 5 and be looked at because I get exposure. But I can be top notch at an HBCU and just completely get looked over. And don't get me wrong, okay, I got undrafted, so I get to pick where I want to go. But to me, that tells me you didn't believe in me. You didn't believe in me enough to use a pick on me. You're like, hey, we'll just, wait till, nobody gets them and we'll scoop them up later. Like granted, yes, you still give me an opportunity, but at the same time, why am I not getting drafted though? Tell me why I wasn't. Why is Concordia University at St. Paul Division II getting? You're using a draft pick on him.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Is it puzzling?
I don't get it.
It's puzzling. Yeah, I don't get it either. But I'm just at least happy that those guys did get an opportunity to at least try out for the team. At least try to make it. And I'm just grateful for that. But yeah, this has got to be a better exposure. Why them don't deserve this kind of this trying to treat. You put in 3-4 years of work, hard working. You just get disrespected. I don't get it.
No, I got you. Appreciate the call, my guy.
All right, brother. You take care.
You too, man.
All right.
Okay, good example, right? He went crazy at the Senior Bowl. So how'd he get invited? He's not getting exposure. How'd he get invited? Is he on television? How did he get invited into the Senior Bowl? So, what are we talking about? If it's exposure, some of these schools don't even be on television like that unless it's locally. And if you're supposed to be good, they're supposed to find you, right? So how do you sell to a kid? How do you sell to a kid that you shouldn't go to Central Arkansas, you shouldn't go to App State, you shouldn't go to Coastal Carolina, you shouldn't go to South Alabama because it's exposure? These dudes aren't on national television. So what are you talking about exposure? They're not. He's not a tight end. He's a linebacker. Listen, I'm not knocking that D2 players don't ball. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is that you literally skipped over everybody in the SWAC. You skipped over everybody in the MEAC. There's nobody. There's nobody. See, you guys y'all are nitpicking what I'm saying. I'm saying you're telling me that backup players at Duke are better than starters in the SWAC. You're bugging. Oh my gosh. No shit, Sherlock. No shit. That's not my point. So stop. That's not my point. Shut up. That's not my point. Shut up. Get out the comments. That's not the point. The point is this. The point is that you have players that are backups in other leagues that get the exposure, but you're telling me bona fide starters, bona fide kids who have worked on their craft for 4 years, all Swac, all this, all that. They don't deserve a chance? They don't get a draft pick? Come on. Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about? What's up? Talk to me. Turn your background down. Turn your background down.
Oh, I just cut it off. I know you were saving this for Monday, but I see that this was on your heart door too hard.
Yeah, I'm hot. That don't make no sense.
Dude, I swear to God, I was about to text you. It would be like nobody got drafted, but I was just like, my man said that he's going to vacate. I'll let it be. Yeah, but it's crazy. See, I'm glad someone put it on my mind to hit to this before the draft. No, what was it, after first round?
After the first round. Yep, after the first round.
Now you see what I'm talking about. Now you see.
Man, this is a travesty. It's a travesty. It really is. You can't tell me that top level Swac players aren't able to get drafted. Not one.
Right.
Not one.
Not one. Some people that was 2-time All-Americans, like the corner from A&T. He was a 2-time FCS All-American. Didn't get drafted. But you would draft somebody that you say got huge potential, a great upside, but you won't draft somebody that's been battle tested and proven just because they went to HBC.
It don't make sense. It don't make sense.
Yeah, that hurt me to my heart. Like that second. No, remember I told you about the 2 corners from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that we looked at.
Stokes.
The ones we looked at.
Stokes.
One of them, Stokes went in the first round. Tyson Campbell went in the second round.
Yeah, to the Cowboys.
If you go back to the tape when Tyson Campbell got drafted, Mel Kiper was lightning to their ass about how that guy developed. And he a draft analyst. And you telling me that you gonna take somebody in the second round that could be a boom or a bust. You invested all this money in potential. That's like in an NBA draft, them lotto picks when they draft them young kids that's tall as shit and they just can't play. But yet you will give up a James Harden or somebody like that, draft them like 10th and 5th and 6th when you got somebody that you know can ball.
Facts.
But you want to go for a potential? Potential. And it's on paper. I don't know if you can drop that site that I gave you, Scotty, but it's on paper that these people ain't developed.
Yep.
But they get drafted high. That's why I told you the first time I spoke to you about my son going to Georgia, I was pissed. Everybody just, Georgia get these 4 stars, these 5 stars, and they don't develop them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a history. It shows it, but they still keep drafting them. Why? Because it's a Power 5. Because it's the SEC. My son is doing the same thing for HBCU that he will be doing at Georgia.
Simple.
But he's getting developed. He's getting trained. My son can tell me every new technique that he learned. That shit that we was just watching on TV when Pine Bluff getting flagged for all that, that's all they teach at Georgia. Remember, I was telling you the grab and
hold, grab and snatch.
That's all they do at Georgia.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I'm pissed just like you. And a lot of people when they was giving you all that slack yesterday about Marshall Falk would have been on the phone. He would have got them scouts in there. Because that's what Dion is doing.
Facts.
You don't think Dion not going to get none of his boys drafted? My son told me today, he said, man, after watching this draft, if it's one team that I know that's going to draft me, it's going to be the Cowboys because Dion played for the Cowboys.
And you know Jerry gonna listen to him.
Exactly. He already got ex-coaches coming to his practice. You think they not on the line with their friends?
That's the resources you're talking about when you bring in Dion, Marshall, Eddie George. They know people. And even in
somebody.
Even in corporate, they always say it's not what you know, it's who
somebody.
You know. Come on, man.
But everybody want to talk about I'm glad that Southern picked who they picked. Come on, all them boys that's in Louisiana. You don't think Southern have been a powerhouse for real?
Come on, man.
They would have really been a powerhouse then. Because all the boys at LSU don't get what we going to Southern. But this is crazy. It's crazy. And like I said, I told you the only way HBCU is going to get respect is if they have that all-star game that I told you about. You put them against the Power 5. That's the only way they're going to get respect.
Yeah.
Because right now, they saying that HBCU is worse than D2. That boy went to a D2, right?
Yeah. That's what they saying.
From whatever fuck school he from. He played line, right?
He plays linebacker.
He played linebacker?
Yeah. But I got to let you go, Mr.
Crazy.
Moore. I got a lot of callers.
You go ahead.
All right, man.
I do.
Hey, caller, you live.
Yo, Scotty.
Talk to me.
It's Joe, man. What's going on?
Talk to me. What's good?
Man, it's crazy because that's what I was just saying. Like, it's nobody that's not good enough to play on the next level. Nobody?
Nobody.
That's what I was just telling y'all on the phone. It's 107 HBCUs. It's nobody. Nobody. That's just what we were saying. I know some of them can play there next level. It's some players I never even heard of. Like, I don't even think played and they got drafted. There's a lot of players I know from Michigan that didn't get drafted. I know from my hometown get drafted. That's just crazy, man. I guess they just gonna keep telling us if you good, they'll find you. But we can't believe that no more.
To me, it just takes too many. It takes too many variables to line up for HBCU players to get the notice, right? Like, you get your Darius Leonards, you get your Armsteads, you get your Dominique Rodgers-Cromarties, but to me, there's no way that somebody from Concordia University, St. Paul, and it's no shot to him, there's no way that there's not one linebacker in the SWAC that's better than him. Not one.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because only reason I know that school is because a running back from my team committed there. That's the only way I even know that school.
That's crazy, man.
That's what I was telling y'all. Like, is nobody that's not good enough? Nobody. I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to wait next year to see if
some of these
they
players
can bring him.
Hey Joe, let me take this caller real quick. He wants to call in real quick. Call back in a little bit, Joe. All right. Chris.
Yo.
Who's this?
It's Chris, man.
All right, talk to me.
All right, so
My name is Chris. I'm from Dallas. Grew up in Atlanta, but I went to the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, and you can see the level of talent between a Power 5 Division I school and a HBCU school. If you really want to talk about football in Mississippi, JUCO is really king in Mississippi. You have players out of East Mississippi, Mississippi Gulf Coast, and Pearl River Jones, and all those schools who actually get players that go to Power 5 schools, and ultimately a lot of those players end up getting drafted. If you want to be the best, you got to play against the best. Nobody wants to see Tarzan line up against Jane. People want to see Tarzan on Tarzan. If you want to play, if you want to get to that level, play against the best. My gripe with HBCU football, not our HBCU football, but I think that HBCUs need to play a national schedule against those top FCS teams like North Dakota State, South Dakota, Delaware, all those teams like that, and get some wins against them, and then we can talk about good players getting drafted.
Listen.
Window.
Real quick, and I like where you're going. I like where you're going because I agree with you. Because I've said the same thing. I said the SWAC can't keep beating on the SWAC. I agree with you on that aspect, Chris. I really do. My thing is this: winning or losing as a team does not individually tell me about a player, does it? Yes or no?
It doesn't.
It does not, exactly. So if I have a stud corner, the rest of his team could be trash. But like Ezra Gray against Auburn, he went off. He went off against Auburn. They got mollywop, but he went off. So you see the talent. You see he's able to compete. That's my thing, Chris. I'm not talking about Grambling as a whole or JSU as a whole, because football is still a team sport. So if you have 10 5-stars and I got one, okay, that's an unmatched battle. But I'm talking about skill for skill, player for player. You can't tell me a player who is honed in his craft because at the end of the day, football is about technique, power, and speed. If you have them, you have them. There's no ifs and buts about it. So if I have a corner who knows his technique, he's fast, he's smart, he can play the game, doesn't matter what level he's on, he's a player. That's my issue. It's not the team concept, because as a team, we might be trash. We might be. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about individual players. You cannot tell me that there's not one player in the SWAC that can't compete at the next level. You can't tell me that.
All right, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree 100%. But the difference is not who that corner is who that corner is lining up against week in and week out. Who is he lining up against? What is that? What is that receiver first couple steps getting off the line or him getting open? We all know. We all know that the window, those passing windows are different in the Power 5, SEC, whatever you want to call it, in the HBCUs. You can count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, and the ball's still not out, and the window time is just shorter. So it's hard. It's kind of hard to evaluate a corner or somebody like that that's going against lower level competition.
Chris,
what I'm saying, the only thing I'm saying
finish.
is
Go ahead, finish.
If you play against the best, you dominate against the best, you will get seen. Don't make your role harder. Don't make your role harder playing less than average competition. Not saying HBCU football or HBCU players are less than, because they're not. They're great athletes, but it's just a difference in the level of competition that they're going up against week in and week out. That's all I'm saying.
But that's a false narrative though, because you still have players at the Power 5 level that bust. That doesn't make sense. Jamarcus Russell, a bust. Ryan Leaf, a bust. T.J. Richardson, a bust, played at Alabama. Like there's still Power 5 players that are bust. So that doesn't even make sense what you're saying.
Look what they went through week in and week out though.
What do you mean? What do you mean what they went through week in and week out? They got to the next level and they did not pan out.
They played against week in and week out. Yeah, they might have been bust, but I'm saying we didn't know that. They didn't know that looking scouting them on film. They saw them against alpha males. They saw them against players that was
that negates your argument that just because you play against top talent, that means you're going to do well. That just negates your argument. You said, look who they played. So you're assuming that they're going to still translate to the next level, and it doesn't. That's why my point is telling you, smart measurables, if you're smart, fast, disciplined, and you know your technique, you can go to the next level. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. It matters what you are and what you bring. If you're 6'3", run a 4.3, and you can do a press man coverage, you understand cover 2, you understand cover 3. How can that not translate to the next level? Explain that to me.
Listen, I understand that completely, but why are you there? If you're a 6'3" corner, you run a 4-4. Why aren't you playing against higher level competition? Why are you there,
sir?
We
can go to that conversation because we all know. First, whoa, wait a minute. Slow your roll. If that's the case, because I'm about to knock you out the park on this one. Why was Patrick Mahomes a 3-star? Why shouldn't he have been a 5-star? Why was he a 3-star? Why was Travis Kelce a 3-star? Why was Tyreek Hill a 2-star? Why? Come on, talk to me. They playing at the next level, at a high level. Devontae Adams, a 2-star. Why were they not 5 stars? Explain that to me, sir. They got the measurables. Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball standing 70 yards like it's nothing. Why was he not a 5-star? What I'm saying is everybody gets looked at differently. Not everybody has the financial capabilities to go to all the camps. Do you know how many camps you got to go to be on Rivals? You know how many college?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then. And not everybody has the financial ability to do that. So that's not even a case, sir. You can't even that's not something you can't slide that across the board. So you can't use that argument because everybody knows stars are not rated fairly, period. And you can't see everybody. But what you can see is, okay, this kid runs a 4.3. Okay, this kid's 6'2". Let's look at the tape. Does he understand? Does he know how to play press? Does he know how to play zone? Okay, cool. Let's use a draft pick on him. 6th, 7th round. It's about potential. When you're picking 5 through 7, you're not picking did he dominate. People who dominate go in the first 2 rounds. From 3 down is all potential. Do I see an upside with you? So why am I not looking more at your measurables, sir? It has to be measurables at that point. Because if you're telling me you're picking people from Duke, they're trash. It's measurables.
Listen. I understand where you're coming from. And yes, I do see the tide is going to change pretty soon here. But for right now, if you want to give yourself the best chance to get better in your craft and get to that next level, then you know what school you teach. That's all it is. And that 6'3" corner, whatever, you probably do good in the league. But you have to make a case for yourself to get there. And the eye in the sky don't lie, the film don't lie. If you put good film, if you put a good game on film, then you probably will get seen. But just don't make it hard on yourself, man. That's all I'm saying. If you feel like you D1 talent, then go to a D1. If you feel like you lower level talent, you need to work on some stuff, then you know where you need to go. But if the draft ain't fair, life ain't fair, man. That's just how it goes. But I appreciate you taking my call.
Hey, anytime.
I like listening to you guys. I'm a fan of HBCU football, and Yeah, man, just keep doing your thing, bro.
Appreciate it, Chris. Appreciate you. Hey, appreciate the discussion, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, caller, you live.
Hey man, I just want to let you up. I'm a former Seminole, but a friend of mine went to North Carolina for 1 year.
Talk to me.
And then went to BCC. It's a big difference between how they put the training table to the conditioning and all that there that make that person go from 170 to 230 in a year. It makes a difference. It really does. You see what I mean?
Repeat that.
I say the training tables at each school is different.
Okay.
The way they do nutrition is different.
Okay.
The way they weight training is different. And I think that the caller was right about they need to go against other schools outside of their conference. You're right about that.
Once again.
But the bottom line is, when they put tape on, you got to have an agent out there because of the way the country is today. You can go online and put a tape out there that somebody can watch every day on your skills and your level. But if they don't see you playing against each other on a regular basis against these other schools like NDFC and all these schools like that, they gonna say, hey, that's the only person we play. And you got to have a scout. You got to have an agent out there. Basically, when you're going out of high school, from high school all the way to go to college, you got to have somebody that can promote.
You guys are stop. You guys' arguments about who you play are bonkers. The reason is because the same players that are playing against Power 5 conferences are becoming bust. That doesn't make any sense.
That's not how they pick people, though. You know that.
If it's based, if it's based off measurables,
they can be a bust. They can be a bust. But what percentage of bust? They look at that. They look. Everything is about data. You know that. Everything's about data.
If you're drafting, hold up. If you're drafting players from the 3rd round to the 7th round based off potential, and we know it's all potential because what do they say? Oh, he's a project. He's a project. He's a project. He's a project. Oh, good measurables. He's a project.
If you're a project from Alabama, a project from Alabama A&M.
A project from Alabama and a project from another school. The only difference is the competition, not the measurables, sir. The measurables are the same.
I'm talking about the measurables too, and I'm talking about competition. Both of them are related.
A project against a power. Listen, that doesn't make any sense. You're not making any sense. If you're a project at Power 5 and you're a project at FCS, your measurables are what they're comparing. I do not care about, because at the end of the day, why would they do a 40? Why would they do a vertical jump? If you take the same player and you don't put a name on them, and you have the same player, and all you do is take the measurables, they have the same measurables. The only difference is you're gonna lean. Wait.
Different competition.
Bro, if you block his name out, you don't pick him. If you block his name out, you're only doing it off his name. That's it.
They ain't doing it off the name. They do it off of what the competition they played against.
Sir, no. If he's a project,
give an example.
Listen, I don't argue on my channel. I let you talk, you let me talk. It's just that simple. If you're basing it off measurables, if a player becomes a project, right? If a player is considered a project, you're basing it off strictly measurables. You know why? Because his tape doesn't tell you that he's that good. You're like, he's a little iffy on technique. He's a little iffy on this. But he has the measurables that I can work with. Duh, come on, man. You're not talking to a little kid. I know what I'm talking about. Hey, you live.
What up, Scotty?
Talk to me.
Hey, how did you look from the press box from Dion now, as you think?
You said what?
I said, how did view from the press box feel you think Dion feeling?
Boy, you petty. You petty.
2-9 fall season Jackson State Tigers, man.
We not talking about that. We talking about the draft.
Oh, yeah. The draft. Man, I want to see that boy from Southern, that running back from Southern and the quarterback from Alabama A&M go in the draft next year, man. I think that'll happen.
Bro, we are talking about we're talking about the draft that just happened.
Oh, man, ain't nobody go in there.
That's what I'm saying. Why? We're talking about why.
Man, you know why, man. They don't believe in the brothers, man. We got some of the best talent in the world. They just overlook us, man. Just like in life, they overlook us. You know, Dion got that name now, and if he win, they'll push. You know, if they don't, it's just like that.
Yeah. Hey, but appreciate the call, my guy.
All right, 2-9.
Hey, caller, you live.
Hello?
Yeah, talk to me.
Oh, hey. Oh, I got on. Okay. Cool, man. I hear everybody talking, and I just wanted to call in. I think what people are missing, and I know you said it, is the NFL is a corporation, man, and you got to have connections. I mean, I went to Southern University, so I didn't play football, but I firsthand seen that, man, we got ballers in the Swac, in the HBCU football, all of them, for the majority, can make it to the next level. But it's the connections, you know, no matter how good our coaches is or whatever, a lot of us are just missing those connections to the NFL, which is, you know, a large corporation. I work in corporate America. It's all about who you know and who can put you in front of this person, and who, you know, is who can put you in front of the right people. And like with Dion being at Jackson State, them guys going to the NFL because he's going to be able to put them in front of the right people. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So, I know you said that, so I agree with you, man.
Agreed.
Appreciate you for letting me get on, too, man.
Oh, no, anytime, my guy, anytime.
Bet.
What's good? Talk to me.
Yo, man. I bring this up before about the NFL, you know, NFL draft and FCS. Now, you remember when I was trying to tell you about the bowl game situation, right?
Okay.
So I was speaking on how, okay, now we all know we got D1, right? We got FBS, FCS, you know, D2 and everything. So now we got the playoff system. I honestly believe that if one of the reasons why that the HBCUs are not, like, players are not getting drafted, it's not because of talent as much, but I feel like it's because of who they play. I feel like, you know, I can't just say I feel like I don't know for surely, but we obviously we don't see that HBCU playing the rest of, like, you know, the South Dakotas, the James Madisons, and, you know, the Sam Houstons. So I feel like it won't change until they get to the point where they play them, you know, and, you know, maybe convert to their playoff system. Because other than that, I don't see it changing. And I feel like until they get to them and they can show that they, you know, competition are compatible with them, then it's not going to happen. Because at this point, if they keep getting blown out by James Madison of North Dakota, you got some D2s. You know, you got players at D2s like in West Florida and some in Minnesota that are putting out, you know, more players getting drafted than it's happening at HBCUs right now. So I feel like the best thing for them to do right now, you know, in order is to be able to find it where they could play just more regular FCS schools and get into their leagues and stuff like that in order for these players to get drafted.
Okay, now tell me this. Why does a player have to play Power 5 conference to get exposure, but a Power 5 player who's not good at the Power 5 level gets a chance to get drafted because of potential? Explain that to me.
I'm sorry. Say the question here. Went on a little bit. Just say, I'm sorry. Say
why does an HBCU player have to play against a Power 5 conference for exposure, but a Power 5 player gets drafted based on potential?
Well, it just comes with it. Like you said before. You got these big high school teams. Because think about it. Let's say for example, I had a kid. I paid for him to go to IMG Academy, and my kid might not be that good, but just for him being on that team and getting a couple snaps, he gonna get some offers thrown at him. It just comes with it. Same thing with some FBS schools. Just for him playing for Ohio State or Alabama, any of these teams, he might not be the greatest. They might have some HBCU players that are way better than him, of course. But it's just because of them being in that system and them just known for being just a better overall team. So, and one thing, I'm not saying that, the HBCU players have to go play FBS schools and schedule them. I don't think they should have to. But I feel like the other people who are right there in the same boat as them, the other FCS schools, they need to give them the same jump as them, like, league as them, in order for them to get that same spotlight. That's just what I think they should do.
I really think you guys, I get where your guys' mindset is, but I really don't think you understand my logic and what I'm going for. I'm saying this. If you took the starting tackle, right, from let's say in Iowa, right? You took a starting tackle from Iowa. He's 6'6", 350, 6'6", 330. You took a starting tackle from Southern. He's 6'6", 330, right? And they both are projects. If you don't look at the name, you would draft either one because why? You like the measurables. You like the long arms. You like he's 6'6", 330. You like that. If the only reason you lean towards a guy from Iowa because he went to Iowa, that's it. But if they're both projects, it should not matter what school they went to if they have the measurables.
See, that's the thing. He's playing the dude that I was playing better talent. So, and
he's still a project. And he's still a project. Listen, I'm not saying he's going first round. When you go first round, that means you are a true talent. You are you're a cornerstone piece. But if you go in the 4th and 5th round, if you watch a whole draft series, all you'll hear Todd McShay say is this: "Oh, I love that he's 6'6". Oh, I love that he plays with power. He's a little bad in his hips and his hand placement, but I think if you work with him, he can get right." You would say the same thing about kids at the HBCU level. Man, you can't teach size. You cannot teach height. You can't teach speed, and you can't teach strength. You can't teach that. All you can change is somebody's technique and how they understand the game. So if they're both projects, they both should be allowed the same opportunity.
Well, it could happen, but I just feel like the only way possible, they're gonna have to change the schedule, because at the end of the day, the HBCU football as a whole is seen as a lesser, like I would say, just talent wise, like team for team wise, lesser than the rest of the FCS. And like you said, we really don't know because they don't get to play each other as much. So Southern, Jackson State, or Grambling, they might actually go out there and beat Sam Houston. They might actually do it, but we'll never know, and they'll just keep.
It doesn't matter about. Listen, y'all are making irrelevant freaking points. It's not about the team. The team has nothing to do with the individual. Nothing.
But he's getting more? What teams are getting more players put in the draft right now? If you look at all the FCS on the board, out of all FCS, these people putting these people in the draft. And of course, you got players in the HBCU schools who are way better than them, but they're getting overlooked.
Once again, I get what you're saying. Alabama is a factory. You go there because of what the talent he's getting in. I get all that, but my point is, if it was about winning, if it was about exposure and winning and beating teams, Duke doesn't do that. So how does Duke have 6 players in the draft? Duke doesn't win.
Because of who they play.
It doesn't make sense, my guy. If the left tackle is getting beat by an All-American, and if I take an FCS team and I go play the same team and my left tackle gets beat by the same All-American, what's the difference?
Well, okay. So that's not how you look at it. Because it's sort of like, yeah, they're going to get blown out. Yeah, that same tackle right now, all of them, they'll get blown out by Duke. They get blown out. Let's just say, who they play. Let's say Clemson. Duke go play Clemson, and Duke get blown out, of course. But then that same Duke will go play another smaller school, and blow them out. Now, of course, that might just be equal to talent. So in intuition, the FCS players, it's not that big of a difference of talent difference, but they still going to overtake okay. Well, this guy might be on a losing team and might not be his best, but look who he had to go against. So we feel like he's better than caliber because we can't trust this guy because he's not playing, Clemson and South Carolina every other week, but they playing just regular FCS schools. So they just gonna go ahead and take a bit with him.
So how can you trust the guy? That makes it even worse. You're gonna draft a guy who across from him got drafted in the second round. He been whooping your ass all season, but you're gonna draft him because he been getting his ass whooped by the guy who got drafted in front of him. That don't make sense.
No, okay, so all right, I'll tell you example. All right, so let me just tell me what you would do. Just tell me what you do. Let's just say that you were you're a coach or whatever. You're trying to recruit a player, right? All right, you got one player right now. Let's say he's at Florida State, and you have another player right now. Let's say that he's at I'm gonna just say Grambling, for example, and both of them are right tackles. Both right tackles right now. I say the same size, got the same bench, everything, just same speed. They're both pretty identical. But the only and Florida State, let's just say Florida State been having a real losing season. They've been getting blown out a lot. Let's just say it's typical Florida State like these past years. They getting blown out by Clemson and not doing too well, right? Now, if you had to choose, now you know who Grambling plays, you know who Florida State plays, and you had to choose out of one tackle. They both the same people. Who would you choose? Would you choose the person who's been playing at Grambling? Let's say Grambling been doing somewhat, regular size. Let's say they may go 7-5 or something like that. But Florida State still been losing. Who would you choose as a coach? What would the people want you to choose?
It depends on what round I'm taking them in.
Well, let's say both of them. Let's say you had to choose one. Yeah, one spot left for that tackle. Let's just say it's the fifth round. Who would you take?
Depends on what it depends on too much. That variable depends on too much, right? Because it's like, what kind of scheme do I run? Is he a great run blocker? Is he a great pass blocker? Like, it's too much. It's too much.
I said they're both identical in play. They're both identical. But you see, they both identical, right? But every time they always end up going with that player who played at
that makes sense. I can rock with you on that. I can rock with you on that. I'll rock with you on that one. I can rock with you on that one. Okay. I can agree with that.
All I'm saying is this. The reason why they keep doing that just because, well, he played at Florida State, and they just know because it's a big name school and who they played and everything. And all I'm saying with the HBCU level is, yeah, it's still D1 FCS AA. But I feel like if they were to play all the regular FCS schools just as much and not just, all HBCUs in the area, I feel like they would open up, the NFL draft system and coaches will open up just that, I guess, just the outlook of it and be more welcoming in recruiting the HBCU players because they see them competing against the James Madisons and North Carolina, just player base. That's just what I feel.
All right. Appreciate the call, though.
All right.
Hey, caller, you live. You live. (601-519), you live. See, and this, listen, you got to understand, man. A lot of players, and this is the website if you want to go check out players' draft profiles. That's the website if you want to go check out players' draft profiles, right? You got to understand, a lot of players that should be 3, 4, and 5 stars don't get those ratings. They don't get it because they didn't go to the camps. They didn't know how the system was set up. They don't know what they got to do to get those ratings. So a lot of kids that go to lower level schools, it doesn't mean they're not good. It just means they don't know how to work the system. They either came into the recruiting process late. They did a lot of stuff different, but it doesn't mean they're not good. Hey, calling you live.
Yeah, man. I want to kind of piggyback off the last caller. I'm looking at the comment section, and I saw one of the guys say that the NFL players just don't respect the HBCU coaching, and I agree with that. And I feel like, you know, of course, because like you said, you can always go back and reminisce about how HBCU were like putting out a lot of athletes back in the day. But if you look at it from time to time now, just the level of competition and, you know, what HBCU levels are putting out versus who they play, just the amount of, I guess, just compatibility of keeping up with other teams, other FCS teams, they tend to get blown out. And I feel like in order to, you know, even that level up, like the last caller was saying, they would have to, you know, schedule more FCS schools, like PWI FCS schools. You understand? Just to build that respect level.
What's your name?
Because I see. Go ahead.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name Michael.
Okay, go ahead.
Calling
Michael.
from New Orleans.
Go ahead, finish. I just didn't know your name. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that's because like when you look at, if you look at like some D2 schools and D3, they have some D2 schools, D3 schools that have way better respect and can put out and it has way better NFL potential than some Division II level schools.
What? Hold up. You just whoa, Mike. You just negated your own point. You just negated your own point. You simply said, "Oh, I think HBCU schools should play more predominantly white schools like Power Ones," but then D3 schools aren't playing these power. They're not paying these predominantly white Power 5 schools, but they got better talent. They got better coaching. What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense.
No, listen, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is this: there are some D2 schools, right? And there's some D3 schools, and there are some D3 schools that have better respect than some of these D2 schools, meaning that NFL scouts will go out and look and recruit these D3 players over some D2 schools. And I said, for example, like, are you familiar with Mary Harden? Mary Harden, I'm sure you just heard the lineman who just got drafted from Whitewater. You got St. Thomas, and over some D2 schools such as like New Mexico Highlands, or some of them. So what I'm saying is, when you look at competition and building respect level, it's more of a respect thing. When they look at who they play and they look at just the overall competition level, if you look at, and of course, if you look at, what do you call it? What do you call the shit? What do you call it? The Swac, like just Swac, or what do you call this? Conferences. Yeah, conferences. When you look at conferences, you always look at, how weak or strong your conference is right there. You have some D3 conferences that are pretty strong, right? And you got some conferences in the Division II level, like I was talking about the New Mexico Highlands, that are pretty weak, and they're not being able to put these players out. Like you said, it's Division II. They're supposed to be better than D3, but it seems like a lot of these D3 players are getting more drafted. But all I'm saying is, like the last caller said, if the HBCUs as a whole would agree to join the playoff system with the rest of the FCS, it would build a bigger respect level on the NFL draft, because the NFL draft, they don't care about how the bowl games make y'all money. They're not caring about that. They're caring about who plays, who's better, who's going to help them the most. So if y'all want to get drafted, y'all going to need to join the regular playoff system, because it shows y'all, just the same. Y'all, if Grambling, Jackson State coach, Sanders, if he goes out there and he beats North Dakota or James Madison, or I'm not even saying he don't even have to beat him. As long as he can compete with him, the respect for HBCU football will build to a higher level.
Oh my gosh, you guys, do you know how to build an argument? You can't start an argument saying that a school has to play a Power 5 conference, and then you talk about Division III and Division schools. talking about they have better respect. It doesn't make sense because they're not playing the same competition. So you're telling me that an FCS school playing another FCS school is not as important as a D2 school? What are you talking about?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said your argument, you started the argument says SWAC teams need to play more Power 5 conferences, right, to get respect.
No.
You said that.
They need to pay. They need to play FCS like the James Madison.
Okay, even better. They have to do that.
Yeah.
But how can you say that on one side of your argument and then not say the same thing about Division III, Division II schools coming up to play FCS teams?
No. See, listen. You now with the D3s and D2s, I wasn't saying them to playing. I was talking about respect. I was saying that.
How do they get respect playing? No, wait. Listen to what you're saying now. How can they get respect staying in their conference, but the SWAC doesn't get respect staying in their conference? Explain that to me.
Okay, this is how. See, I don't even know. You got it.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. You can't tell me that. That doesn't make any type of sense. That if a D2 school stays in D2, that's perfectly okay. But if an FCS school doesn't stay in FCS, they don't get the same respect. Like that. What?
So you telling me that if the HBCUs didn't join the regular FCS playoff system, it wouldn't help with drafting ability and putting HBCU players out in the NFL. You don't think that?
I'm gonna go two ways with it. Based off your argument, it shouldn't matter. But I do now. Listen, I have been the same person that have said the SWAC needs to stop beating up on the SWAC. I've said that, so I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I do think that they need to step outside and beat other players. I've said that numerous of times. I say you can't, like Alcorn, you act all big and bad. You the bully in the SWAC. Oh, yeah, we got this on lock. But you don't go play nobody else. You don't step outside and play nobody else. You the king on your block, but you won't go down the street. Now, I can't rock with you on that. You feel me? So I agree with your point. The only thing I'm saying is that you can't respect.
Southern, what makes so good about Southern got three good FCS schools right there in their background. They got Nichols right down the street. They got Southeastern, McNeese State, all in that area. They got Grambling too. They got good talent, good potential talent right there that does pretty good in the FCS that they can go out there and just schedule.
But once again, based off your own argument, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. You can't even bring up that argument to me because based off your argument, when you first called in, you said D2 playing D2, they probably get more respect. D3 playing D3, it's probably the respect of the program. So your argument is null and void. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's respect of the program.
Man, bye.
Listen. Hold on. Listen. So when you look at a school, right, like a D3, every school's program has history and has a name. So what I was saying is they have a few D3 schools, as we've seen, that's known to put out good players, and they have great coaching. All these coaches come from NFL backgrounds, etc.
Oh my gosh. You guys are just changing the narrative. Because first you said
I'm keeping the same narrative.
Go ahead.
And you have D2 schools right now, because like you say, Division I, D2, D3, right? So D2 is supposed to be the second best to Division I. So you have some schools out here where you would think that if nobody gets picked up in Division II, they damn sure not going to get picked up in Division III. So it just shows you it's not even about who they play. It's a more of a respect thing. And for Southern and a lot of these HBCUs to build that respect, the only way they can do that for their program right now is to join the FCS playoff system. That's the only way I think it will work. Because
if you look at some of the HBCUs, like I want to say in the north, like above the knee.
I ain't got time for it. It's not making any sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nah, I can't. Go ahead. You loud, caller.
Man, what's going on, man? Scott, this Shelter, man.
What's up, Shel? Talk to me.
Hey, man, you got to start screening your callers, man. Hey, man. I think I just wasted like a solid 15, 20 minutes on that last call, and I was like, can we just drop the call? Like, can we just move on?
I just ended up hanging up. I was like, it's not making no sense. It's not making no sense.
It is. I was like, look, we so unreal about the Swac and what it is, man. Look, we the reality is the Swac been hurting for years, and Lord knows JSU has made a lot of mistakes in their coaching, hiring and firing, and most of the schools have made big mistakes. Only Grambling and Southern has been really consistent, I would say, overall. And Alcorn recently, you could pretty much say. But reality is, we even when the days of McNair was in, we only had one or two players that may make it. And that's just the bottom line. Mm-hmm. We've never had that full respect that, you know, we have this great talent coming out of the Swac, and we're going to put up 3 or 4 players that's going to go into the NFL every year. We had our moments back in the day, but reality is in the last, 15, 20 years, we just haven't had it. Mm-hmm. And when we go out and play schools like Georgia, you remember when Southern played Georgia, or when, Alcorn played Georgia Tech? They got blown out for money. They didn't get any respect. What respect did they earn? They respect that they smart enough how to make some money, but they asked for playing football. It looked like we didn't know how to play football. Mm-hmm. Period. At all. It just looks bad. Like, reality is, it doesn't matter. Look, we could keep playing each other in the Swac we want to. We could have a championship game we want to. That's fine. But you're still gonna have to beat somebody big. Appalachian State did it well. Troy State did it well. They got their respect by beating big teams, and that's just the bottom line. And they moved on up, and they moved forward. If we want the same respect, we gotta beat some bigger teams, and we gotta build the program a lot better than what we've been doing. I think Deion got the kind of, at least he has a pretty good concept of what we need. Hopefully, people won't hate so bad. They'll actually try to learn from it and build the whole Swac up from what he's trying to do right now. So that's my point of view. But you got to start screening these calls, dog. You got to screen calls. But what you think about it?
I get you, because listen, not everybody's going to get drafted who we think is supposed to get drafted. I get that. It's just too many players. It's too many teams. We get that. It's the top of the top. My only thing is if you're drafting players after the 3rd round based on potential, because that's what it's all about. Because if you really, if football aficionados understand, after the 3rd round, everybody's a project. I'm just taking a flyer. Ooh, I think he might be. Ooh, I think he might be. Ooh, I like him. Ooh, I like how he runs. Ooh, it's all flyers. It's just straight flyers. So you can't tell me there's not one player in the Swac that you're just like, you know what? That Bama is 6'2", runs a 4.4. Hey, let's see what we can do with him. You can't tell me. I just don't understand that.
Well, but it goes back to the history, though. I mean, we don't get the respect we supposed to get in the first place because we don't know. We understand media. We don't understand promoting. We kind of got away from that. Like at some point in the 90s, I would say a lot of things changed. Something happened. Something went left field. After the Steve McNair years and stuff, things went real left field for the whole Swac. And I don't know. And to me, I say you start at the commissioner from that point of view, from the top, and work your way back down. But reality is, we just didn't promote our players well.
We didn't, and then I don't think we were making the right connections in the NFL to make sure, like, like think about it. Jerry Rice went to Valley. So you trying to tell me there's not one player from Valley that was good enough to make the NFL in the last 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he come back and help and make sure these kids are getting the right connections and going to the right programs and going to the right, scout meetings and stuff like that? Like the education side of how to get into the NFL has not been taught well for the Swac overall. Yes, there are some people got some connections. Yes, there are a few people got connections, but we're talking about as a whole conference. No, we're just not educated well enough in that area. It's like you just got to be a superstar, and then somebody say, "Oh, okay, he's breaking records."
Yeah,
now he's working to look at. But other than that, just the guy who's 6'5". Look at the Alabama A&M quarterback. He's a beast. He's a beast.
I promise you, he won't get drafted.
No, he's not going to get. He could try to walk on. He could try to walk on. That's pretty much what he can do. But I mean, talent-wise, come on, you can't tell me he's not at least a second string quarterback for the NFL right now. And there's some garbage quarterbacks in the NFL right now. They're second and third string. So I mean, to me, it's still about education, and then still about working the right connections and stuff like that. Look, we just being left out to dry, and we've been dry for 20 years. That's just what it is. So we just need help. We got to figure out how to unite and get everybody to come back and say, give these kids a chance. And right now, that's not what's happening. It's not always just who we playing and who we not playing and stuff. It's still about making the right connections, and we're not using the right connections.
That's real. Appreciate the call, my guy.
All right, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
No, anytime. Hey, caller, you live.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Talk to me.
How you doing? I'm Zaya from I'm not from looking at ANC. That's not enough to ask. Like, it's just really sad. I'm like seeing this player from Swac in the media. They're nice. You know what I'm saying? These are actually really good players. Like Matt McCain from ANC. He was a dope cornerback. Who should have been drafted. Like, didn't seem like who's the guy from Alabama State? Well, no, he's coming back. But just seeing like some of the players that are posting the draft this year and didn't make it is just, I don't know. I think it's more of a bias, just basically just because of small school. I think across the board for FC, I think 3 guys from FCS made it in the first 3 rounds? From what,
North Dakota State had 2, and Wisconsin Whitewater. I don't know if that's a D2, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the last guy is UNI, but like it's just like even them. Like think about it. It's most just biased, but I think like last call is our respect because like think about North Dakota State. Those players got a job because of who they are. When they play against Power 5 schools, they beat them. When they play G5 schools, they destroyed them. If HBCUs want to get in the draft more, it sucks, but it's reality. Like, they got to start beating those teams. Like, when was it 2016 and 15 when Grambling played Arizona. If Arizona would have lost to Grambling, I guarantee you more Grambling players would have been in the draft that year and probably this day.
That's real.
If they would beat Arizona.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So, if we want to see more players in the NFL draft, we gotta start beating and not being destroying these Power 5 and G5 schools. That's the only way we're gonna get the respect we deserve.
That's real. Appreciate the call, my guy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Nah, anytime. Hey, caller, you live. Uh, 347, you live. Three 347-276, you live. Hey, caller, you live.
Hey, what's up? This is John from Massachusetts. I just want to say, just hearing the conversation, I wouldn't say we had to beat. We wouldn't have to beat big Power 5 schools. I would say the players just have to stand up, because of course most HBCU schools not gonna compete with Georgia or Alabama, but some players gonna have to stand out. Now I know AB Ashton Brown didn't go to HBCU, but when he was at Central Michigan and played Georgia, he made his mark that game to get drafted. He wasn't on any draft boards to get drafted before that game. So that's all I got to say. What you think on that?
No, I agree with you. If you get the opportunity, and that's I'm glad you said that. If you get the opportunity, football is a team sport. If you have one stud, that's not going to make your team all world, but that all world stud can show up on the tape. That's the whole point. Like, okay, you get blown out by 20, 30 because Georgia got 10 5 stars. You got one, but your one is legit. He gonna get looks because it's like, he's doing it. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with that. That's why I'm saying it shouldn't always be about who you play, but it should be about how that guy shows up, his measurables, and does he translate? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're dominating your competition, i.e. Glass, i.e. Ezra Gray, if you have the measurables to do what you're doing, why aren't you getting looks?
Let me say this, look, because this year they didn't play any Power 5. So I would say next year, this upcoming year, when ASU play Auburn, we'll see what Ezra Gray do then. Will anybody else who ever played in the Power 5, I feel like next year is going to be the time. And also, how many HBCU players got invited to the Senior Bowl? And did they stand out? I know about the Whitewater guy. I went to high school and I played football with the kid from Whitewater. He went there. He wasn't on any, but he made his mark though. I can't say the same for any HBCU kids.
How did he make his mark? How did he make his mark?
He went against from D3, and he was holding his own and dominating some of them power. The guy from Pittsburgh, he was dominating most guys.
Because he got invited to the Senior Bowl, right?
Oh yeah, he got invited. No, I don't know. I wasn't, trying to. I said I don't know if any HBCU player got invited to the Senior Bowl. I know one corner did from South Carolina State, but I don't know how he did. I didn't hear about it. I'm not saying that he didn't do good. I just didn't, check into all that.
My thing is this, and I appreciate the call. All I'm saying is that if he got invited, you telling me there's no other, you get what I'm saying? Like, you're telling me that because he's not playing against top FCS schools. He's not. So you're telling me his talent.
It's a D3.
Exactly. So you're telling me his talent showed up on tape going against other D3 schools.
And let me ask you this. This is you think some D3s can hold up to some, because talent is
that can't listen. You guys are changing your argument. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that FCS a SWAC school has to play Power 5, and then D3 it's okay if they play each other because they're D3.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I ain't trying to say that. I don't know. I'm trying to play devil advocate, if you get what I'm saying, but I'm not on any side. I get what you're saying, though. I know what you're saying, where my argument's switching up.
Yeah, because listen, in top 5, no questions, he's saying this. Scotty, you got to watch his tape. He's crazy dominant against D3. He's dominant against D3. You invite him to the Senior Bowl, he shows out. That's great for him. But what about the Jordan Lewises? What about the Akil Glasses? They're dominating against their competition, but are they going to get that same Senior Bowl invite?
That's true. So then who do we put that on more on? Because I don't see Jerry Rice putting on for no HBCU players. I know Dion is, but he just now doing that. I don't see any Michael Strahan doing none of that. So who do we put that on?
Man, listen, I blame a lot on those guys because they're not giving back. Shannon Sharp, Michael Strahan, these guys need to advocate for these guys, man. For real. They need to advocate heavy because they know how hard it was for them to make it. You got to come back and give back. You got to. If that means holding your own combine, if that means getting your own scouts, you got to give back to your boys. You got to give back to your school. The PWIs do. Deion goes back to Florida State. Ed Reed goes back to Miami. Like, stop playing.
You're right. And I appreciate you having me on the call. Before I go, I heard from my source, Alabama State gonna get a DB from Alabama transferring in this fall.
I heard the same thing. I heard the same thing. I don't know his name per se, but I have heard the same thing. And I'm gonna reach out to some contacts I got in Alabama State and see if I can hone that in for you. But yeah, I heard the same thing.
All right, have a good day.
Hey, you too, man. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
DMV.
You good with me? You already know, DMV. You good with me?
I'm good with you because the reason why, because they've got the biggest dick.
We do though. The DMV does. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Let me see. Hey, caller, you live.
Hello?
Yeah, talk to me.
Hello? Am I live?
Yeah, you live. Talk to me.
First and foremost, I really appreciate your program.
Yo, hold on. Your phone sounds really bad. Like really bad.
Okay, can you hear me now?
And you got to turn your background down. Just talk to me.
Okay, let me do 1 second.
He keeps changing his numbers. Guys, I keep telling y'all that. He keeps changing his number.
And you gotta turn your background down.
All right, can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I think one of the most beautiful interviews I've seen recently from you was Rich Silverfield from Perry.
I'm so sorry, guy. Listen. I'm so sorry. Your phone sounds like you have one of those voice changers on. It sounds really, really bad.
All right, I'll call you from the other phone.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got him coming back. But listen, you listen, like guys, you can't. You're jumping on here talking about stuff, and you keep changing the narrative. Is it about the team winning? Is it about the individual player? And I heard somebody say they do give back. How do the players give back? All right, how do the players give back? Tell me that, because I don't hear Michael Strahan. I don't see Michael Strahan like putting on for his school. I don't see Shannon Sharp putting on for Savannah State. I don't see these players truly giving back and doing more. I see a lot of Power 5 schools getting they stay repping. They stay. Ryan Clark, you would think he made LSU the way he reps LSU. Oh man, they rep LSU hard. Hey, caller, you live.
Yo, I got a question.
You gotta speak up. You gotta speak up.
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I got a question. So I've been watching tape on like the top prospects in my class, whatever. And I looked at their film, like they film don't compare to nothing like that I have to offer, and I'm still a 0-star. I've been to one camp. I mean, you got any tips for me?
You only been to one camp?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I haven't done that in a long time, in a really, really long time. I might have to bring somebody on to talk about the process and how to collect stars and how to do that. I'm definitely going to do that more. But as of right now, honestly, I couldn't help you with that because I don't know the process. I haven't played high school football since 2007, and I know the game has definitely changed. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
but you definitely got. I do know you definitely have to do a lot of camps. That means school, like the university camps. I see some comments. They say 7-on-7 at P5s.
Okay.
I'm looking at. I'm trying to see some more. Yeah, a lot of people say more camps. So yeah, I don't know it, but it's a process, man. It's a process, and also do your own. Send your tape out. Do your own due diligence. Send your man. Listen, Dion over here putting the recruiters' IGs on his stuff. So hit these coaches up. Get in their inboxes. Send stuff out. Do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that happens. They say more camps, more out-of-state camps. They say show your face everywhere. They say you got to go to 24/7 sports camps. So you gotta do your job, man. You gotta do your due diligence. Get your tape together. You know, start promoting Nike elite camps, all type of stuff. They say create a huddle, a HUDL huddle.
Yeah, I got that. I got all of that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna try to get something like that for the summer. Maybe somebody who can really break that process down.
Okay. Thanks for the time.
No, man, anytime. Hey, appreciate you guys in the comments for that. Real talk. Appreciate you guys for the comments for that. Help that young man out. Hey, Carter, you live.
Yo, I had to call back. I called a little bit earlier about the little situation. Let me ask you this about HBCU football. So, tell me this: if you was playing football, right? Because all right. So, are you in agreement with? Do you believe that more black players, should go back to HBCU schools, like play there instead of PWIs?
I do agree with that.
So, all right, I'm gonna ask you this: if let's just say, for example, if you, like I said, you play college football, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say, for example, let's say you was a 5-star athlete right now, and Deion Sanders was still there, and everything. You had an offer to anywhere in the world. Would you choose an HBCU?
I wouldn't choose an HBCU. I would choose Deion.
You would choose Deion?
I would choose Deion.
So you would choose Jackson State, right?
Yeah, because I believe in Deion. Now let me get this straight. Hold on. Let me answer your question. Let me answer your question realistically, right? So if I'm a 5-star and Deion comes and gets me, this is his first year there, right? His first year, he hasn't won or lost anything. I want to be a part of that class. I want to be the wave. You see what I'm saying? I want to be the wave. Now, if Deion Sanders has 2 to 3 years that are bad, right? I don't know if I'm going to go there because now I'm looking at it like, what are you doing? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, I'll tell you like this. If you just look at students in general, just football, I don't think it will ever be a time again where all of your good, black players will go back to HBCUs for a few reasons. I'm gonna just say these few. For one, because you want them to downgrade to FCS. But even though that's not even a good point, that doesn't even matter because it's all about the players. You play good, you get out. But I think just campus-wise, you look at these campuses, the campuses look like shit. Like, think about it. If you've been growing up and you've been struggling and you get the opportunity to go on the other side. Let's say you've been growing up in Broward County somewhere, right? And you finally get the opportunity to go to University of Miami on the whole other side where everything nice. Why would you want to take that opportunity?
I'm not saying
that's for less and go to some bullshit looking school.
I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying you're not right. I mean, I'm not saying you're not.
But do you feel like players are wrong? Do you feel like players are wrong for wanting to do that?
Nope.
Well, because
no, I don't. You didn't ask me that question.
Players got their own.
Listen. You're not asking me the question. You're just throwing stuff at me and thinking I'm disagreeing with you. No, you asked me, would I? I said yes because of the wave. Now, if you're asking me, do I agree with kids?
And people keep saying the money coming. Do you ever think it can happen like that, sir? Like even if we get the money, do you think that with the area and just you look at just space, do you think it could ever get to the point where these FCS schools, they can have their own cafeterias in these huge facilities? Do you think that could ever happen?
Sir, what's your name? What's your name?
Frank.
Frank? Franklin. Listen. Listen, Franklin. You know what gentrification is?
Yeah.
All right. Gentrification is the same thing Black people can do with their own communities. It's all it takes is money. That's all gentrification is. You buy it low, you fix it up, and you make it better. Money changes things. You give HBCU schools money, you give HBCU schools more than what they need, they can do it for themselves. So instead of a white person coming into your neighborhood, buying it low and gentrifying, you do it for your own campus. You buy the surrounding environment. You fix it up. You do whatever you can because you have the money to do so. How do you think Alabama builds the stuff that it builds? They don't build it because it's Alabama. It's built off the Black players. I'm not finished.
It seems like
I'm not finished. It's built off Black players who have came through that program. So if you take the same talent, you give it to HBCU schools, they have the same opportunity to get the same revenue for themselves. Now go ahead.
But you can't lie. It seems like anywhere it's a high population of niggas, it's fucking problem. If you look at everything, if you look at
that's a mindset.
If you look at everything,
that's your mindset.
Like that.
That's your mindset. They always say.
So you don't think so?
They say you can take somebody out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of somebody. That is your mindset, sir. And if you continue with that mindset, then at the end of the day, you're never going to see the progress in your people. You're never going to see the potential that your people have. And that's foolishness.
Yes, you know. So is it even possible for you? Is it think it's possible for HBCU to get put up to FBS program? Like, or would they? Or would they just have to stay double A?
Didn't Appalachian State do it? Anything's possible. Appalachian State did it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like anything is possible. It takes school. It takes money. It takes recognition.
No, I ain't go to a white school. I'm reading the comments. I ain't go to no white school.
Hey, but I got a lot of calls on hold. Appreciate the call though.
All right.
Hey, caller, you live. Tank, you stupid. Go ahead, you live.
What's up, man?
Talk
hey,
to
I
me.
got a solution for.
Hey, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Nick Bone. I'm calling from Texas.
All right, talk to me.
Hey, man, I really think what they should do, bro, is get all the alumni together, like say Dion, Jerry Rice, Ray Lewis, and get a mandatory 32-team pro day. Like get every team in the Swac, every team in the NFL, and let them come to a Swac pro day.
That's
all
dope.
32 teams mandatory.
That's dope.
That way they all get exposed.
That's dope. I like that because what they do for FCS schools, they usually have a regional pro day. So all the all the people in that area go to this one central location and they do a pro day. So if you don't, if you don't know how the FCS system works, most of the times is that if your Power Fives usually have campus pro days, so they have, each Power Five has their own pro day, but FCS are usually more regional based. So they'll have a location and then those schools in that location will meet at that one place. But I do agree with you. That's a dope idea. That is a super, super, super dope idea. But that's what they're saying. They said that's what the HBU Combine is for.
Yeah, but you got to get it away from HBCU because then it makes it too like topic, I mean, we all know it's an HBCU, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'm gonna get a little bit more stickier with it. You can have a mandatory where at least a couple guys from each team go to that pro day with all of those teams in it. When you got dudes from Georgia, just, you know what I'm saying? Just make it mandatory that 5 guys got to go from at least one team, you know what I'm saying, out of the Swac.
Yeah.
Or just one.
No, I like that idea, man. I really do. That's That's dope idea. Real talk. To have every campus have their own pro day, or like every state, something like that. That's dope. I like that. I really like that idea.
And then that way, your boy Glass definitely gonna get in there. Keontae Ingram definitely gonna get in there. And then that way, shit, everybody wins.
I mean, nobody can promise that they'll get in, but the more exposure, the better. That's all we can ask for. Get the more exposure, the more opportunity, the more chance you get looked at, the more you have an opportunity to get in there. So yes, I do agree with you. Hey, appreciate the call, my guy.
Man. I don't think that. Appreciate it.
Hey, caller, you live.
Hello?
Yeah. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Malcolm. I'm calling from Michigan.
What's your name?
Malcolm.
Okay, what's up, Malcolm? Talk to me.
Do you think that's the possibility that they're trying to discourage, blue chip recruits from attending HBCUs by not drafting anyone from HBCU program this year? Could that possibly? It seems like there's like a great deal of politics. It's not so much a meritocracy like it was in the past.
This is what I'll say to you to that, right? I think there's coaches are on very hot seats. So they don't have, a lot of coaches don't have the cachet to just say, hey, I think this player will work. Because if it doesn't work, you're like, well, we could have went to a Power 5 and got somebody that would have probably been better. So I think a lot of coaches aren't willing to take the flyer that they're supposed to, or they don't have the cachet to really be like, you know what, let's pull the trigger on this player. Now, what I will say is that I do somewhat agree with you on the conspiracy aspect of if less players are getting drafted from HBCUs, then it means you keep the same funnel going to the same schools.
And Scotty, I don't mean to interject, but it's a case where with the momentum, with the Eddie Georges and the Deion Sanders, now when a blue chip is getting recruited by Deion Sanders, Nick Saban or someone else could say, well, I just want to let you know, no HBCU programs, none of those players were drafted.
Facts.
And so that was one thing. I called earlier, there was an issue with my phone. I think the greatest interview that I've seen recently was the interview you had with Reggie Stubblefield. Because our schools have to understand, you're a student athlete. We have too many talented players. We saw the young man from Alabama A&M today. He did a remarkable job. He's just as good as Trey Lance or Justin Fields or Zach, whatever his name is. And so you have to be a student athlete. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to have that balance. You have to know what our schools mean historically. You come out there to be a better man. So don't go out there thinking, oh, I'm going to make it to the NFL because I went to the HBCU.
Yeah.
I know too many young men who always had that dream, oh, I'm going to be in the NFL. And even though they're talented and they can run a 4.4, they get overlooked. So we need young men like Youngbloods like Reggie Stubblefield, who's an academic All-American who could do more than one thing. So that's what we need to celebrate as well.
Hey, Malcolm, I 100% agree with you. I had a conversation with a young man, and he was talking about how, kids should go to Power 5s to get drafted. And I said, well, everybody can't get drafted. And if let's say your class was 20 deep and y'all went to Alabama and 10 of your classmates got drafted, the other 10, what they going to do? They going to get a job. They going to work a 9 to 5. Like, so let's not act like a good education does not matter. You get what I'm saying? Like, you still got to get an education because not all you Bama's going to get drafted. You know what I'm saying? There's 22 people. It's probably like 13 seniors or 20 to 30 seniors on Alabama, and maybe 20 of them got drafted. The other 10 going to have to get jobs. You know what I'm saying? So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. I agree. But at the same time, it shouldn't stop you from trying and looking at HBCU schools. That's all I'm trying to say for them, those young men.
Just one last point. When it comes to Deion Sanders and Eddie George, I'm very critical of those two men because they think that, okay, I could bring in the top ranked recruits. But what about those guys who were overlooked? They were late bloomers. They were underweight in high school, whatever the case could be. But they could end up being a Mathis from Bethune-Cookman or one of those type of young cats who made it to the league. Some of these guys, even though they may not make it to the league, a lot of these guys, you don't understand, HBCU, sometimes they protect these young men from going to prison. They have something to do. They have something to focus on. So these young men go to school knowing, I'm not going to make it to the league. I'm going to do the best I can, learn more than 4 years in school as opposed to learning, being on the corner or doing something else. So that's part of the HBCU football, athletics that we have to understand, or just the HBCU experience where you have something where you could be focused on and focus on just beating Southern or beating Jackson State. It's bigger than just going to the league. So we have to always just be mindful of that. Sometimes we're just saving these young men so that they can have focus on something positive.
No, man, listen, Malcolm, you are spitting bars, my guy, and it should be grooming men. It shouldn't be about the end of the day, making sure that you get, NFL draft players and anything like that. It should be grooming men. And if that's the case, that's why I feel like a lot of HBCU players should go to HBCU schools to know your history. You know what I'm saying? To know what it was like for us in the 60s, in the 50s, in the 40s, when HBCUs were all we had. You know what I'm saying? And the prestige and pride that came with going to an HBCU. And still to this day, where most of our biggest leaders came from HBCUs. You see what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people look down on that because of, what they can't provide them athletically, but academically and, socially, HBCU schools are very powerful. The networking is powerful. You know what I'm saying? So it's just little things like that. And I'm glad you brought those points up because it adds to the overall
experience.
Exactly. Instead of just making it all about athletics. So that's facts. And I appreciate the call, Malcolm. Real talk. I really do.
Have a good one.
Hey, you too, man.
Yep.
Hey, caller, you live.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, turn your background down.
Yeah, I just this Levi O'Neal coming out of Jackson, Mississippi. I was just trying to call in on the caller that was calling in about, Jackson State campus is HBCU campus is bullshit and all that. That's not true. And Scott, you done been down here. I done seen the video where you done walk down here. You know our campus not no bullshit.
No, but it is in the hood though. It is. Listen, it is in the hood though. But the campus is beautiful. But it is in the hood. Let's not lie.
Yeah, it's in the hood. I'll give you that though. But when you come on campus, and then the guy said we don't have our own cafeteria. That's crazy. We have our student union. We have a bowling alley. Our student union is like a ball. We have at least like 4 different restaurants. When you get a chance to come down, I want you to just come to our student union. But it's been like 5 or 6 callers saying that our campus is like a third world country. I'm a student down here at Jackson State. This is my junior year. So, when I hear callers saying that, it's like if you've never been down to our campus, then don't talk down on our campus,
No, I feel you.
And and that's the point I just want to get across. If you've never been down to HBCU campus, don't talk down because first of all, not only Jackson State campus is beautiful, but Southern, Alabama, even Prairie View. All the campuses look good at HBCU. So don't just come in because it seems like when a caller
come in and just start talking down on HBU campus, it's almost like the draft. You know, you just want to just try to downplay yours just because we have our own thing going on, and you know, come on now. And also, I want to ask you a question.
Talk to me.
Now, I watched your show with Jeremy Hickbottom.
Yeah.
And I remember he had said that you know, you don't want to be in a transfer portal a long time.
Facts.
And I understand that. But let's talk about our boy Jalen Jones. He's been in the transfer portal a while. So what's your opinion on what you think that where he's gonna get picked up at, where he's going?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he's still listed as a freshman, maybe a sophomore. So I think he might go JUCO and then try to come back up. If that's my opinion. If I was him, that's what I would do.
Okay.
I would go JUCO and then come back up. That's what I would do.
Okay, then.
So real quick before I let you go, because I want to make these points because a lot of people can't read the comments. Listen. I want to be very clear. Syracuse is in the hood. Howard's in the hood. Seton Hall's in the hood. Richmond Spiders, they're in the hood. Like, there's a lot. Listen, you get more property value when you're in lower income areas. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's call a spade a spade. Not many schools are in high developed areas. That's just because you get more space with less value. Let me say that again. You get more space where there's less value. If you go to Beverly Hills and try to build a campus, you're going to be spinning an arm and leg to get some, you know, because the space is limited and all that. I want to be very clear. So, but yes, JSU is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, the campus is wonderful. I just want to make that very clear. All right, but appreciate you, my guy.
All right, take care.
Hey, caller, you live.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
All right, so, you know, I'm tired of these, you know, Johnny come lately, but, you know, I would say this. Even if you don't play on the team, you're on team with me. And, you know, a lot of players or athletes or any sport, or even if you're a student or you graduated and you're doing your job, you're on team with me. So there's no tree blocking your driveway. Nobody cut your internet line or your phone line. If you're in high school and you want to go to the big time college, the coach or the school is going to provide a tape. You're going to send your tape to whatever college you're trying to go to. If you're playing in college and you want to go to the NFL, you gotta do your own research on who you rank up against. And then sometimes you have to go out of your pocket and pay for your own and get your own representation. Representation, let's not forget, the NFL is a business. It's a sports business. If you want to go to the league, you need an agent. Now, everybody ain't gonna go, but anybody can get an agent. And you need to put your best foot forward and work on it. Because at the end of the day, when you go to these other schools, they have a system in place. And you benefit off of it. But when you go to HBCU, there's always not a system in place. Sometimes you got to beat your own drum to say you can get somebody else to beat. So, you know, let's not make any excuses. Like, there's a number of players at HBCUs that's in the NFL already. But if you don't have an agent and you waiting on the phone to ring, you're doing yourself a disservice. You got to go get your own. You got to go get one.
That's real.
That's what I mean. It's a business. Team with me. I don't care what you're doing. Team with me.
Isn't that on Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins? I said, isn't that off the movie Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins? That's the team of me.
Yeah. All right.
you never seen that movie?
What'd you say?
You never seen that movie?
Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins?
Yeah, Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins.
Yeah, they shot it in Louisiana. Yeah, I saw that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Martin Lawrence says. He says that's the team of me. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm saying everybody can go to the league. But when you got a wide receiver from a big college and he's 6'2", 240 pounds, and he goes, and you got one that's 6'5", 260 pounds, and the potential is there. But if you don't have representation, you ain't in the game.
Yeah.
Get all the way in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got people out here that, they in school, so they still on their parents, income tax. Your parents getting, $5,000 or $6,000 in income tax. You could have took that money and went and got your agent. Even if you don't get an agent, do your own PR until you get somebody else to do it. And that's all I'm saying. It's a business. It's chess, not checkers. Put yourself in. It's chess, not checkers. It's serious, straight up. Put yourself in the winning position. Play the whole game. Don't just play between the lines. After when you're out of the game, out of practice, you need to be on the phone with your team, with your parents, whoever it is that's helping you strategize. You got to have somebody in your corner to show you the right direction. If you don't know somebody, then pay somebody. And if you ain't got the money to pay somebody, then find somebody. You got to walk, talk, and dream this thing. You just can't just sit up here and say, well, I'm going to go to a school, they're going to do it. No. Hell no. Whatever school you go to, they're going to do what they're going to do, but you still got to have a mind frame. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You got to put yourself, you got to will yourself into. Now, well, what's his name? The quarterback that came, what's his name? They tried to make a quarterback. He ain't no quarterback. The white boy. What's his name? With Denver, Colorado, Denver Broncos. What was his name?
Tim Tebow.
Tebow. PR. You great white height.
Bro, whoa, that is not the same. That is not the same. My man won 2 national championships. That's not the same. Not the same.
And he was a draft bust. So
come on, that's not the same. That's not the same, my guy. From an HBU, you're talking about a Florida powerhouse, 2 national championships. And you're talking about HBC. You can't even compare the two. That don't even make sense. I was rocking with you until you said that foolishness. That's foolishness. It's foolishness.
All right. Well, if he could play, he came from a good program. He got good coaching. I mean, he could follow direction. And then he got to the NFL, and it was a butt. And they tried, and it ain't gonna work. So I'm just saying, PR got him in there. Yeah, they won a championship, but it's a team sport. When you on the field, on the field, it's your team. That's all I'm saying.
Got you. Appreciate the call, my guy. Hey, caller, you live.
Yeah, but didn't the HBCUs have a partnership with BET for like getting the TV televised at one point?
Yeah, they did.
You don't think if they were to do that again, that would help just on Saturdays? If they would just take, because ain't really nothing playing on Saturdays but reruns. You don't think that could help with exposure?
I don't know who really watching BET nowadays, but I mean, yeah, you can't hurt.
But what other networks you think? Because supposedly, they the only ones who really, as you can say, support the black movement and everything. So, and we ain't gonna be able to get ESPN like that. So what else? Because FCS not getting too much playtime anyway. So if we had that, at least we had the upper hand. Because the only one FCS wise getting TV time is like South Dakota, if that.
Honestly, I just think you should have your own network.
Yeah, so we could try to get that. That's all I had to say. The last thing I want to let you know is Southern's campus look like shit. So I don't know what that last call talking about. Whenever you go down there and see. You go down there and see yourself. So I don't know why whoever that nigga was talking about, oh, Southern is that, it's bad, all right? So when you go, I know you say you're going down to Southern sooner or later for the game.
Yeah.
So you go down there and see it, it's like fucking shit.
Wow. Oh.
All right.
Oh wow. Okay.
All I want to say is Shasta.
That wow. Okay. That was gruesome. Whoa. Definitely a little strong on that one. All right. Whoa. Oh, wow. Southern, you might don't shoot the messenger. I mean, don't shoot me. Get with him. I should have took his number down so I could have sent it to some Southern fans. Y'all can get with him offline. That's what I should have done. Yeah. Whew, that was not pretty. Let's kind of get back on topic because them last callers took me way off topic. But at the end of the call, the number of the calls right here, right there at the top, right there. All right, so yeah. Ooh, sounded like Southern didn't let him in. That's what it sounded like. Sounded like Southern didn't let him in. He didn't get accepted to Southern, and he wanted to really bad, but he didn't get it. Man, they all sound the same, man. I know the Southern dudes all be sounding the same. I be getting confused by, like, for real, bro. I be getting confused. They all sound the same. But getting back to the topic at hand, it's why aren't HBCU players given the same opportunities than Power 5 players or people that go into just because of the school they go to, when most of the players are getting drafted off of potential, upside, measurables. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what we're going based off of, then I feel like more players should be able to get drafted. That's just my view and opinion on that. More players should be able to get drafted based simply off of measurables, potential, and upside. And HBCU players are not given the same opportunity just because I have to. Because that's what everybody's comparing them to. So I have to. That doesn't make sense. I have to. Come on, man. I'm gonna find. I like that, James. I'm gonna find that out. I'm gonna try to get y'all. I'm gonna try to make that work. I'm gonna definitely try to make that work. Maurice, Larry, networking, connections, relationships, and that's what Dion brings. Listen, that's why Southern should have freaking hired Marshall Faulk, but you know they still have an opportunity later in the last year. But that's what Dion brings. That's what Eddie George brings. That's what Hugh Jackson brings. Hey, caller, you live. Turn your background down. But that's what Dion brings. That's what. Hey, caller, you live. Turn your background down.
Hello?
You're live. Turn your background down. All right, go ahead.
This is Gabe from Dallas. I was just calling. Do you think HBCUs playing in the spring and not having a chance to go against the FBS schools in the fall really hurt them in trying to get players drafted because they didn't get to play against any NFL-like competition?
No. I'm sorry. I'm not taking my frustration out on you. It's just I've asked this question. I've been asked like different versions of this question, and it doesn't make sense because if Division II players are getting freaking drafted, then it shouldn't matter who the FCS schools are playing. It should be based off the ability to dominate. That's all it should be based off of. It shouldn't matter if they're not playing Power 5 conferences. It should not matter. A lot of schools did not play this year because of COVID. So how are other players getting drafted?
Did a Senior Bowl, like the All-Star games, I don't know if the HBCU get players to go to the Senior Bowl.
I think there was two players. I think one from Grambling and another guy from North Carolina A&T, I believe, went. But at the same time, this is the thing. I've talked to Mr. Moore. He said that the thing he would recommend is more exposure. So it should be a HBCU All-Star team against an FCS All-Star team. That could be one version. Or an HBCU All-Star team against a Power 5 All-Star team, Senior Bowl. Something like that. But what comes with that is the more games you play, the more chances of injuries. So that's why some players won't really get into that, because it's like, okay, if I play this game and I get hurt, I'm definitely not going to go to the league. But if I play well and I do well and I get exposure, boom. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of both. But I think it could work. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to get injured. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, but yeah, appreciate the call, my guy.
All right, man.
Hey, caller, you live.
Hey,
what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is from Maryland.
What's your
I
name?
want to say congratulations to A&M first.
First?
Yeah.
Like I'm first?
Championship. And I feel that like the whole like fun thing with the what was it called? The country not giving the HBCUs enough attention. I think that's kind of off. But I feel like we should be paying attention more to like the black people in general, because this whole thing is like kind of off. And
how old are you?
14.
Okay. I need you to be more concise on your point. Like, what are you trying to say? Just take your time. What are you trying to say? Listen, he hung up. I did not hang up on him. I was trying to get him to pinpoint his point because I didn't feel like he was saying, he was just kind of spraying everywhere. I wanted him to, but he hung up. So, what's up, Manny? Talk to me.
Hey, what's good, my guy?
What's good? Talk to me.
Hey, man, what's up with old buddy you just hung out with, man?
You talking about the 14-year-old?
Yeah, man, that was different, bro. My man gonna have all Southern. You know what I'm saying? All looking for him, bro.
Oh, you talking about the guy who said Southern's campus is bad?
Yeah.
Man, listen, I should have wrote his number down and sent it out to the people I know in Southern. Get a little mob going for him.
Yeah, man, you gotta chill out, man. You know, I crack jokes and all, but hey, man, you don't want the Jags after you, know what I'm saying? Jason Rollins and all them,
they roll deep too. And they travel.
Listen, man.
And if it's one thing we know, they travel. Well, go ahead.
Oh, hey, listen, dog. But look, though, as far as the topic for tonight, bro, it's extremely disappointing. But at the same time, it's something that I think me and you kind of been reiterating. Well, you and I just kind of echo the fact that it's all about exposure. Now, one of the callers were correct. If you're not an FBS school that is actually having their own camps, they set a regional here in Maryland. One of the regional spots is Towson, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, it all comes to how much exposure you're getting. So if we're talking about HBCUs, your opportunity to be seen a lot of times and to shine is when you're playing out their FBS school or one of these top FCS schools. You're deemed beneath them due to the fact when you play these schools, you lose, and you lose on a convincing level. Prime example, since I like picking on Southern. Southern played McNeese State last year and the year before, and they tend to lose to this team. McNeese actually likes playing Swac schools due to the fact it's a W that you can go and see. It's a W for them. So it's literally not looking good for you when you're playing these schools whose McNeese State is considered one of the top FCS schools, and you're losing to them, but at the same time you're saying, hey, we have talent too. But it's like, hey, it's kind of a bump down from FBS. It's not a mid major. You're a top FCS, but even the FCS schools still lose to a bottom tier FBS. So it's like when you're losing to that, then it's like you're getting kicked to the side yet again. So and look, I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, I'm tired, man. I ain't gonna kick nobody tonight. I'm just trying to put it in perspective.
No,
now,
I got you, Manny.
do I feel as though the SWAC has talent, bro? Yes, the SWAC has talent. Akil Glass, man, is hey man, he showed off. Me and you talk about Queen Casey. Queen Casey is a talent.
Yes.
However, when it comes to money, when it comes to exposure, when it comes to certain things, you don't have it. You're not being seen. They don't consider you to a certain, or excuse me, at a certain level, bro. And that's why I think it's such a thing for having the celebrity, due to the fact Deion Sanders and like who was that coach? What was the coach the other day, man? That kind of went on a whole rant about Southern.
I don't know.
Oh man, I forgot, bro, because he got pissed off that you said they was gonna go 6-5.
Mr. BJ Jones.
Man, yeah. So, he has stated, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? When a 4-star coming through the SWAC, you see what happened to them. They get knocked off. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I've seen it. That's true, but usually it's just one 4-star on one team. Like it's one 4-star on that team. He's usually a transfer that got kicked out of school. The difference is right now is Deion has multiple 4-stars on one team.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I got you.
And also he is a star. So he's bringing attention to that. He's bringing exposure to that team. That's why I felt like Marshall Faulk need to get in there, because he's going to bring exposure to a certain area where it's going to force you to say you're forcing them. Hey, look at me, and they're going to look at you due to the fact you have that name, bro. It's complex. I hope y'all understand it, even though I know half y'all not. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just ain't, mentally set up that way.
Hey, man, I'm going to have to let you go. I got a lot of callers on hold. Well, appreciate the call in, man.
Hey, go ahead, bro.
All right, man.
And then,
Hey, caller, you live.
Hello? Oh, my bad. I hung up. I asked somebody to call me.
Oh, go ahead. Talk to me.
Yeah, but I understood what you were saying. But I think the entertainment business should start televising these HBCUs more often for like the games and stuff like that. Because really, I don't think that the HBCUs are getting that much attention until Coach Prime started showing up at Jackson State, or the band's getting attention on live television, or like the parades and stuff like that. So I think the overall thing should be, they should be getting more attention with the entertainment businesses, and they should be getting more donations and stuff like that, instead of the alumni basically carrying the whole schools.
That's real. Okay, I see you, 14-year-old. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, this is what I agree with you, but you got to understand, entertainment people love headlines. At the end of the day, if it's not a headline, they can't sell it. You get what I'm saying? So when you have, when you have a Conor McGregor, he sells because of his brashness, of his people love and hate him. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes, you can sell Patrick Mahomes against Tom Brady. Why? Because you got a future GOAT against the GOAT. You get what I'm saying? Like, you got to build a headline so people can sell it. So that's why we're advocating, like people like me are advocating for big time coaches to sell. That's why I love Conor Maynard, because when he says we'll go recruit more 4 or 5 stars, that's a headline. So now when he goes against Deion, they're looking like, oh, okay, let's see. You see what I'm saying? Now people are going to want to tune in. That's what entertainment's all about. People want a villain. People want a hero. People want an underdog. People want something they can sink their teeth in And if you're not building those headlines like a Jason Rawlings, whatever his name is, you're just going to be another program. That's it.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
You see what I'm saying? But man, you up pretty late, man. You need to be in the bed. But appreciate you for rocking with me, my man.
Yeah, but yeah, my cousin was calling me. Yeah, we have family issues right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
all right,
it's
man.
all good.
Peace. Hey, caller, you live.
Yeah, just Levi O'Neal calling out Jackson, Mississippi again.
Hey, hey, Levi, turn your background down.
All right, you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to respond to that caller that was saying that I need to come down to Southern University and look at their campus and I'll see his bullshit. Let me tell him something. I done been down to Southern plenty of times. Matter of fact, Southern even had a reality show that was on BET a long time ago.
Hey, whoa. Listen. I'm not here to bash any campus. All right. That's not what this topic's about tonight. If it's not about the NFL draft, I don't want to hear it. You can put that on your page. You can put that on your Twitter. But nah, sir. We're not here for that. We talking about the NFL draft. It ain't about the NFL draft. We're not doing that.
All right, then I'll talk about the NFL draft.
All right, talk to me.
All right. How I feel about the NFL draft is I feel like they're really discriminating over HBCU campuses because like, I was listening to what you said earlier about you have a backup from Duke that is eligible for the NFL draft, and that's ludicrous because you know I feel that you have several players that's in Swac that can be able to be a backup for Duke, and it's like you know you looking over the MEAC, you looking over the Swac. It's just like, come on, we see what you're doing.
Facts.
But like other callers said, Dion, I feel like in the next 2-3 years, that the Swac, if they with Eddie George and Dion, if they continue to do what they're doing, and also bring in more. I'm not gonna even say just pro coaches, but some good coaches, some good solid coaches. I feel like the Swac gonna be looked at even more because this is really the first time that we've actually just been on ESPN. So, I feel like in the next couple of years, things gonna start to change. You just gotta give some time to work out. But I will say this though, and this might seem like a crazy idea, but I feel that all of us just really need to put our differences aside and just come together and create our own league, something like Ice Cube did with the Big Three.
I like that.
It can happen because I listen to callers all the time saying they donating about $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000. I'm saying to myself, all this money, we can be trying to make our own league. But
you talking about your own league? Nah, you're not about to. Listen, that's tough. That's you would have to have if you made it like a farming system for the NFL, then maybe. But if it's not connected to the NFL some way, somehow, it's going to fail. I'm being honest, it's going to fail. The reason the Big Three works, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the reason the Big Three works is because they're bringing stars that you know and love to play in the Big Three. You get what I'm saying? So you still have that connection to the NBA. But if you're just doing players you don't really have a serious connection to and think they're going to blow up, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
A baby got to crawl before it walk. A baby got to crawl before it walk. And like with that being said, it might not be able to pay as much money as an NFL or a semi-pro, but it will put food on your table. I mean, I feel like if we was all to come together, and if it was to happen, I know it's not going to happen overnight. I will say that that's impossible. But if it was just to happen where we all can come together and just create our own league and don't have to worry about, the outside,
it might not be able to pay the players enough where you can buy a Rolex and a Lamborghini, a 745 BMW, but
you can live nice. You can live nice. No, I agree. Hey, I got a lot of callers on hold, but appreciate the call, my guy.
All right, take care.
Hey, caller, you live.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty? How you doing, my brother?
What's good? Talk to me.
Yeah, this is Tony Webb out of Nashville, Tennessee.
What's up, Mr. Tony?
Look, it was not much, man. How you feeling? Let me tell you something, man. Ever since USC, and this, I can't quote the exact year, came down to the University of Alabama, I think it was in the mid-'70s, and ran them out of their own stadium. From that point on, Bear Bryant stated, hey, I need me some of them. Of course, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly
Ever since then, it's been on and popping. You cannot match the funding, because, the go-to people always talk about is the facilities and all that. Man, you can't match them thick white envelopes that are given with that handshake. You can't match that jobs and gifts that parents are getting, on the down low. You can't match that. So let's quit this Power 5 talk, period. I don't want to hear that. It's ridiculous. We need to be the best FCS schools we can be. That's enough of a challenge in and of itself. I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee State competes in the OVC. Our job is to get to the Jacksonville State level. Okay?
Gotcha.
To get to the, people I've seen in your comments, people talk about Austin P. Austin P, man, is just they're kind of like a novelty. They pop up and have a good team here and there. They have a young coach come in. He's, I think, at Charlotte now, because he left like after a year and a half. After got that program, kind of out of the gutter.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a consistent cello driller. But they're competitive now, to a certain extent. How long that's gonna last, whatever. But get to a Jacksonville State level, get to a North Dakota State level, get to a James Madison level, or a Delaware. That's what we all need to aspire to be. Okay? Because that whole thing about trying to, old schoolers, because like here at TSU, it's just like with the other calls you have. People here still think John Merritt and Joe Gilliam and all them cats gonna run out the tunnel with Richard Dent and Too Tall and all that. Them days is over with. Okay? That ended from the mid-'70s on back. Because up until the mid-'70s, the mid-'80s rather, HBCUs were still pretty potent because the other people on this lineup are backing me up. Jackson State, FAM, us, and it was one of them I had on my mind. Were the most potent teams. Grambling, I'm sorry. Grambling is the other team. And from that time period on back, yeah, you couldn't have paid University of Tennessee or Vanderbilt, who was also here in Nashville, to play us. You couldn't have paid them. Because they weren't all that strong anyway in terms of UT. Not back then. It wasn't until like later on that they started with, Foreman and all of them, they started getting stronger. But back from that 80s period on back, you couldn't have paid them to play us. And it was the same with those other three teams. But now those days are gone. There's so many constructs that have been put in place, okay, to keep that train rolling. That's not going back. We need to be the best FCS teams that we can be. And as we become dominant FCS teams, then if you want to take the next step and try to be a mid-major FBS, then do that. But until then, and the only way you can prove if you're a dominant FCS team is if you lead that Celebration Bowl along for a couple of years and prove that, hey, we back on this level. And the only way you can do that, you got to go play your North Dakota, South Dakota, your Delawares, your James Madisons. At TSU, we've been in the struggle for some years with that, and it's been tough. The OVC ain't a popular league like the Swac because you don't have the bands and all that and the giant tailgates, but the football is strong. Just like the program you say you played for, I know a little bit about them.
it's probably a conference that people don't really know that much about. But I'm quite sure you can attest there was some good football players in that conference.
Yeah.
So until you prove you can beat those teams and prove you're a dominant FCS program, then we cooking with some Crisco. But all that trying to talk about the Power 5 thing, come on, man, leave that alone. But I'm get off. Good show, man. Keep it going.
Appreciate the call, Mr. Tony Webb. Thank you, my guy. Love the history. I call you live. Talk to me.
How you doing?
Good. We're good. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Not much, man. I'm EDP 445, Crawford, Indiana. First, the HBCU situation. What I really would like to see, like what a few callers were saying before, I really would like to see them join the FCS playoff situation. I really do think it'll be a lot beneficial for them and for us the Super Bowl win. I feel like, you know, I like what Deion is doing right now. So I feel like the more we have more Deion, we get a lot of better coaches. It will bring a lot of better talent. And like I remember, I want to say a couple shows ago, someone brought it up for you before, but you were saying that if they were to do that, you know, they wouldn't make any money. You know, you go to the playoffs, once you lose, you don't get any money, right?
Yeah. So
that's what you were saying about the bowl games. So I was thinking if it ever got to that point where, like you get, let's say, like when Southern was supposed to get Marshall Falk, but they didn't get it. But if we ever get to the point where we get a lot of these black students to come back to these HBCUs, and you know, a lot more of the money is coming back, it can get to the point where we can't afford to go to the playoffs, you know, the FCS playoffs.
That's real.
And it won't hurt us. And then it'll be more beneficial because we're all playing in the same league. And I feel like the respect level of player competition would balance out.
No, I like that. I never thought about it like that, but that's a good point. That, you know, with the more exposure you get, the more money you get, then you can use what you're doing to go put yourself in that FCS playoff system. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, man, that's all I had to say, man. I really like the show. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
I appreciate you, my guy.
All right.
I'm transgender. And seeing the past those laws in West Virginia banning us from being
You're live. Okay. It's my last caller. You're the last caller. Talk to me.
What's up? It's Double T.
What's up? Oh, God. Oh, God, Double T. Why you my last caller? Go ahead.
You know, like facts, man. So every level, forget HBCU, every level, like you go down, is less draft picks. So if you get FCS, they get less draft picks than FBS. That's just how it is. Division II get less, Division III get less. You know, that's just how it is. And then HBCU, especially the Swac, you know, they sectioning themselves off. If you're not playing these, you know, all these other conferences, how do these scouts get to see you? So Swac, they not playing these other conferences, top schools from other conferences, and then y'all not going to the playoffs. So y'all in your own little bubble. And then, you know, so you section yourself off. So how do you get exposure, and how do these scouts get to really, you know, measure you? So, you know, one caller talking about you need HBCU versus FCS playoffs. You don't need that. If HBCUs are playing these other schools and they beating them, everybody get to see, okay, I can just compare right there, and then I can select for my regular all-star team.
It shouldn't matter if they win or lose.
You shouldn't matter. What name?
It shouldn't matter if they win or lose. Shouldn't matter.
Why does it matter? If a tackle versus another tackle and your team
That's
getting
an individual matchup, my
good.
guy. That's an individual matchup. We're talking about individual players. You're talking about a team concept. That's two different things.
But let's say go off of you're saying they're not even playing these schools.
No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
And so they're not. So the SWAC, specifically the SWAC,
they're bubbling themselves. You're not getting to grade these schools. You know what I'm saying? So how they cut, you cutting yourself short right there. You know,
let me ask you
every
this.
level,
Let me ask you this.
Sure, go ahead.
How beneficial is it to a HBCU, right? They go play at Auburn. They have 4 linemen that might listen.
All right, go ahead.
That's what they play money games. Is that I'm basing it off their schedule. They play money games. So if they go play a money game and there's 4 D linemen that's going to get drafted against your offensive linemen and they can't block these boys, how beneficial is that for the running back? How beneficial is that for the quarterback? How beneficial is that for the wide receivers? This all works together. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's not. Oh, I agree with you. That's not beneficial. I wouldn't even put myself up against the Auburn.
Go ahead.
Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put myself up against the Auburn. Like, why would you do that? That's demoralizing to your team, and you're just playing it for money instead of like taking steps up. Let me play a top FCS team. I'll probably get some money, and then let me slowly work myself up. Where even when I play an FBS team, where they're not beating the crap out of me. Y'all can see we got potential. We might get beat by 2 touchdowns or something like that. But that's what scouts and people expect. This team got 63 scholarship players. FBS got 85, 90. Like, y'all supposed to get beat, but not get beat 60-0 or something, you know?
Yeah. My thing is this, because if a scout, my thing is this, if a HBCU team plays a top FCS team, right? The thing is as a team, yes, they're not good as a team. But if I'm finding measurables, I'm finding kids diamonds in the rough, to me, it doesn't, you can see talent. And and even with like people calling earlier talking about how, oh, you see who he's playing against every day. Well, he getting his butt beat. He getting his butt beat too. He is getting his butt beat. And then you have to add on other avenues to that, right? So if I'm a DB, I'm dependent on my D line because I can't cover forever. I don't care how good I am. I can't cover forever. If I'm playing against a team that has an all-world offensive line, I'm going to get exposed sooner or later. But sooner or later, you got to see, okay, he playing with good technique. He knows how to play cover 2. Oh, he's a headhunter. He likes to hit. He can come up. He's a good tackler. All those things work together in your favor. And then at the end of the day, when you go do your measurables, they see you run a 4.3. They see you're 6'2". They see you have a 37-inch vert. They're like, man, let me go back and watch this tape. That's how it all works. That at the end of the day, you become a project because they're like, you know what? From the games I'm seeing, he looks raw. He's a raw talent, but I think we can work with him. That's how that works. But go ahead.
So you got 2 things what you're saying. So you know this, the further you play away from the ball, it's more one-on-one. If an O-line playing a good defensive line, you want your offensive, one offensive lineman getting beat, you're going to ask them to help out. So they're not going to get it singled out. Like a DB versus a wide receiver, you can see them one-on-one. Even if the rest of the team's, sorry as hell. You can see, okay, this DB, he's sticking a wide receiver, he look good. You can't tell that too much with a nose tackle on a guard or a center and stuff. And, you got the whole line. That's just how football is. The further you away from the ball, it's more one-on-one. And then you have people putting up money. So the people these NFL, they spending money on these plays. They want to get it as close as right as they can before they draft somebody. So they want to see, you playing against top teams and top people, period. Period. They want to be able to grade you on every level, because they don't want nobody first round bust. They just spent $20 million. Now it's going against their cap. They wasted all this money and stuff. Like, the LSU quarterback that came out years and took ratings down like 80-some minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you throwing money into it. So when you throwing money into it, people want to measure every aspect. And Swac, they're just doing themselves a disservice.
No, when you're adding money, people don't want to take chances. That's what happens. People don't want to take chances. They don't want to. GMs don't want their job lining. They don't want their job on the line because I try to take a flyer in the Swac. I try to take a flyer in the MEAC and it didn't work out. They don't want to lose their job. But Owners
some of the
would be okay if you took a flyer from Florida. They're okay if you took a flyer from Alabama. It's
Yeah.
Alabama.
Correct. You know politics come into it. You know politics come into it.
Yeah.
You correct about that. I can more risk it. You know, he's from Alabama, so if he do a dud, like he just was a dud, I ain't got to risk my job.
Facts.
You know, and then as an owner, like you own a company, you want to hire somebody, or you want to hire an experienced plumber or a plumber that only did good on 5 jobs. You know, and they was easy jobs. Or you going to, you know, hire the plumber. He does like 20 jobs a week, and he did the whole thing. Hard jobs or easy jobs. You going to hire him. Not that the guy who did 5 jobs, maybe he got potential. He can be good as this guy. But who you going to hire, really? You know?
No, I feel you. I agree. No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I guess, you know, that's why I'm not no hater. I just want Swac to start playing, you know, these out-of-conference teams and start beating them, and you showcase your talent. You know, you just everything. You know.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Hey, appreciate the call, WT.
All right, take it easy.
All right, boy. Hey, caller, you live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you going, Scotty? It's Cook and Co. How you doing?
What's up, Cook and Co? What's good?
Man, it's good to call back in. Look, you've been right on the front lines, and I really appreciate that. And I know that this is going to be just a good conversation. I just want to keep it straight. You can interrupt me if you feel comfortable. Cool?
All right.
All right, so my points are very straightforward. I put it up on the super chat. Look, we need to get more GMs from HBCUs. If we're going to look at scouts and blame them as the cause and issue of why we're not getting more of our players into the NFL or into the pros, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We need to get our kids into HBCUs. We need to get them to graduate. And if they don't graduate, we need to get them to transfer to schools that can get them these degrees to get them into the circles they need to get into.
That's
the
real.
Second thing is,
that's real. You hire what you're familiar with.
Oh, go ahead.
I said you hire what you're familiar with.
Oh, exactly. You run in the same circles with the dogs you're comfortable with. You eat all at the same time. Now, going on to the next point, it's a pretty straightforward point. Look, we all notice that TV time is going to run out on Saturdays this upcoming 2021 season and 2022 season. Spring is going to be out of the question if we aren't going to move forward with that. So we need to look at, instead of Saturdays, look at Fridays. The next step after that is very, very simple. Yes, we understand that a few of these games in a year are going to be for money, and agreed. I 100% agree with your earlier points that yes, looking from the outside in, you're going to get a lot of guys like wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, and specialty players to get into the league. But as soon as we can develop more linemen, we can start getting more jobs and more opportunities into the NFL. And we can get more scouts and more GMs, the people that we need to get butts in seats, and the GMs down here. It's our HBCUs. And then my final point is we need to stop trash talking each other's schools. I don't care how the campus looks. How was the camaraderie? How was the brotherhood? How was the sisterhood? How was the the sorority, the fraternity? How are we coming together? Stop trashing each other. We're here to solve problems, not throw mud at each other. And that's all I wanted to say, guys.
Well, I gotta hold on that last point, Cook. I gotta hold on. I gotta bring it back. All right, I gotta keep it realistic now. The SEC does the same thing, and they don't have a problem getting drafted. So we should be able to have a healthy competition, a healthy discuss for our teams. Listen, you might not like Jackson State. You might be a Southerner. It's okay to have a healthy dislike. That's okay because SEC has it, ACC has it, Pac-12. Every school in their own division has rivals, have people they don't like, they talk smack about. That's football, that's sports, that's never going anywhere. What has to happen is where I agree with you is at the end of the day, we're all on the same agenda to move HBCU football forward. That's I agree with. But to not listen, you could be my brother. If you're a Washington football fan, I'm throwing dirt on you. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. Like that's what it is. I don't care if I would have gone to Jackson State and you and my cousin was a Southern fan. I'd be like, y'all trash. You know, you like that's just what happens with football. Like you're not going to get away from that. But I do agree with you that. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you on that. It's just there comes an opportunity, just like in the Bible. There's a time and place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
We all are on this team together. I agree. The word choice, actually, no, I'm not even going to say the word choice. The way that we're going about this is completely different from them. You and I both know, and everybody on this call, everybody that's watching this video, we all know we're not playing with the same playbooks. We're not going to be talking to one another like this for long, thinking it's going to be able to be productive. And that's why I'm saying there's a time and place for everything. Right now, let's be productive. If you want to get that off, just like you said to the earlier caller, if you want to get that off on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, go ahead. My congratulations, you got it off. But right now, we're trying to come together to push our. And if I can help 3 players get into an HBCU, there should be someone else putting 3 different people, 3 different kids through school to be a scout, to be a GM. And talking about each other's campuses on this platform right now, as we speak, is not helping being productive to that conversation.
You know what?
I agree with you on some point.
I'm so sorry, Cook.
That's my point.
That's a good. Hey, listen, I'm so sorry to cut you off. That is such a great point, and I need to do a better job of bringing in scouts, coaches to understand how you get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you only know what you see. You only know what you understand, and a lot of people don't know how the route is to become a scout. They don't know how the route is to become, a player personnel or a GM or things like that. So as my challenge to myself is to bring those people on here so that young men and women know, okay, you know what I'm saying? This is a route I can go. This is a route I can take. You know what I'm saying? This is how this person got here. This is how this person got there. So you know what, Mr. Cook, I appreciate you. That's my challenge for the summer is to get more people like that on this platform so I can give back to my community in that way. And I appreciate the insight.
I do, man. And look, again, I appreciate this platform that you've created for us. More importantly, man, more ups to you. Much love from Houston, man.
Thank you. Anytime, Mr. Cook. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Peace.
Hey, listen, guys. Everybody out in TV world. All right. And high school coming out and trying to convince them on HBC. Okay, I'm gonna try that, Jay. I'm gonna try that. All right. If you know any scouts, friends who are coaches, friends who know people, you know how this works. What is it? 6 degrees of separation that you know what I'm saying? Like things like that. If you know somebody in the business, if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's doing that business, please have them reach out to me. I would love to bring them on the channel to just ask, pick their brain, get information so we can pass that down the trickle. Because once it's on YouTube, it's always going to be on YouTube. It's always going to be something that's searched. It's always going to be something that people can reference back to and say, oh, man, you know what? I want to be a sports agent. Oh, okay. I want to be this or I want to be that. And having people who look like us or people in that position giving back that information to the community is important because you only know what you know. You see what I'm saying? You only know what you know. So please, if you know anybody in your circles, if you know anybody outside that, let's do that, man. Hey, Carter, you live?
Yeah.
Talk to me. Turn your background down. Talk to me.
It's down. It's down?
Yeah. All right. Talk to me.
Yeah, what's up, Scotty?
Talk to me.
It's Coach B, man, calling from Louisiana.
What's up, Coach Pimp?
Yeah, man, everything is cool, man. Yeah. What everybody talking about tonight, yeah, they need more black general managers and black assistant coaches. It all starts with the coaches, man. Like my boy Dion. Dion doing a great job. But the NFL knows Dion for being a defensive back. That's why every kid want to go to Jackson State to be a defensive back. But what I call to talk about tonight is that in college they teach reading, writing, and arithmetic. What they don't teach is relationship. What we need now is relationships. And it's okay, everybody talking about Marshall Falk coming to Southern. Great move. But sometimes we got to get in where we fit in. What I mean by that, we don't just need coaches. We need ADs. We need general managers. We need people that's going to come in at every level and put this thing together, man. HBC, you have to take care of HBCU. We're not going to worry about the Power Fives. That's out. Let's take care one day at a time what we have in front of us. When I go to football games, pro game, the first thing I get is the program. I want to see the roster. And on that roster, you see a lot of undrafted free agents. And most of them boys come from HBCUs. Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, Doug Williams, them boys took the long route. Sometimes the long route, the best route. Slowest for sure. I'm a football coach. I love football. HBCU players love football. The game today was awesome. Them people played it down to the wire. But it was on ESPN too, at 1 o'clock, baseball time. That game should have been on 8 o'clock prime time. HBU family need to take care of the HBU family. Long time ago, they used to say the Swac, we are family, or we are one. You need to stick to that old motto, man. Sometimes you can't get away from the old school. We're all new school. You got to mix it up like gumbo.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate you, Coach Pep.
All the time.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. All right, so listen. Oh, I'm about to shut this down. This is late. This is super, 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 super late. At the end of the day, all right, everybody's going to have their opinions on how it works, why it doesn't work, why it does work, and everything like that. Let me just close this out because I don't even want to look at it. Because if I see it, I'm going to click on somebody to call in. All right. Call line shut down. So I'm ending off this note. It's simple. Like I said, everybody has their opinion on how things should go. But we all have to understand and do our parts in preparing young men, either life without football or preparing them for the NFL. Now, on top of that, the SWAC commissioner, the SWAC teams have to do a better job exposing themselves, getting themselves out of the bubble, as Double T said. You cannot think that just playing yourself within your block is going to make – you're not the SEC. The SEC could literally play themselves and nobody else, and Bama's will still get drafted because that's the highest level of football. You're not that. You're not. Get that out your mind. So you have to show what you can do. It's no different than a job, all right? You have to – sometimes you got to go and do somebody else's job to show that you're capable of doing that job, all right? So with that being said, it's twofold. Get more exposure, go play somebody. Go show what you can do. All right? JSU, FAMU, Bethune, Southern, Alcorn, especially Alcorn. Y'all talk big and bad. Go play somebody else. Go play somebody else and talk that mess. All right? So until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holler. God bless.